now. Okay. Welcome to From the River. Everybody is online. I see that. I think just Azazel and Apollo. I don't see you in Roll20. Are you here?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm there too.
No, I see you, Azazel. I see you.
Oh, okay.
I see Ashrock.
Oh,
and
there we go.
Azazel.
There we go.
There he
Apollo's
is.
there. So yeah, Apollo and Azazel, you both have cards. Have you? Are those from last time? Because I think I can just send you new cards.
In a while.
Okay, let's.
Well, did we
close out
actually
those-
resolve this day?
Nope. I'm going to resolve it right away. We have basically one thing left to do, and then the day is going to be resolved. That's why we're still on this track. Hello, Terry. So you guys want to both delete those cards, and I'm going to deal you guys new ones.
Have a delete card.
You should be able to left click on them just above your name, and I will.
Come here, buddy.
Do I just play the card?
Yeah, I think you can just
Okay.
play it and then hit exit, or you can right click it and hit delete. I think I'm not sure which. Just wait till you get rid of it here.
Playing cards removed. Draw. So let me do anything. Can I just play the card?
Try playing it, see what happens, and then you
Let
should
it
be-
go. Oh, there you go. I got it. There you go.
Okay, so I'm going to deal you guys one card each now. Now take a look at that card, don't play it. That is what you can add to any roll you want to this game. If it's an ace, it's an automatic critical or natural 20. Okay, so last we left off on the From the River, there is no music. That's not proper.
I don't know. I was making supper. I would have made it.
There we go. Okay, now there's.
I mean, I've been pretty much on the go all day since I literally just got home.
Fair enough.
Yep.
There we go. Okay.
Sure did.
So, last we left off, there was a incredible hag fight, and I think we resolved who got what items. And so basically, you guys settled down for the night, and then there was a hag attack. These hags attacked in concert with several trolls, and at about the midway point of the fight, they summoned the Banderhob, which is the giant toad-looking thing that you guys see there. A lot of combination of teamwork and some fancy spell casting. Got rid of most of your enemies, but there was a particularly clutch move when Azazel dodged the tongue from the Banderhob. And Apollo tied a knot while he was being attacked by a troll, threw the knot around the troll and the other end to the flying Azazel, scooped it up, dragged it across the screen, down over the tree, tied it to the draft horse, slapped the draft horse in the ass, and that draft horse took off. The troll failed 2 strength checks and was summarily decapitated via hanging.
I watched this whole thing on my stream the other day, by the way.
Awesome. I am glad to hear that. That is great. After all of this happened, one of you, I don't remember exactly who, Ashrock, you found a doll that was on the underside of the wagon. This doll had glyphs on either side of its head, on its head, either side of its body, and on either side of its body. You wrapped it up in hides without touching it. You guys tried to tell of whether it was magical in nature or not. You got that the glyphs were probably magical, but that's all you guys were able to really get from it, and so you saved it to give to Ashrock, or to give to Azazel when he came down from his little flying spree. The caravan master had come up to you guys and thanked you a whole bunch for saving some of the guards. Some of the guards did die, but others were saved, and There is some shock from the caravan master due to the ferocity of this attack. They have had problems with trolls in the past here, but this level of concerted fight and ferocity of this fight was remarkably shocking. They expected maybe 1 or 2 troll raids. They also expected them maybe not this close. You guys are in the troll claws, but not yet in the troll bark forest. And the troll bark forest is this area between where you are now and Dragonspear, the city. And it's kind of the more swampy area, so the fact that they came up this river seems very odd, especially the fact that they brought a sea hag with them. That would be a far ways for her to travel. So knowing all of this, you guys are kind of surprised, kind of weirded out, and I believe we were going to pick up just as Ashrok was going to give the hide to Azazel for him to take a look at it.
So do I have it?
Yeah, me and Wulrash had no idea where the hell this thing came from, so I'm hoping you can take a look at it.
So
I think we were kind of sitting in a circle around it, and it was laying in the middle.
Yeah, it was kind of on the underside of the wagon. You actually looked around to try and see, and you found it.
Yeah, I wrapped it up in some leather and
without touching it because you don't know what the glyphs do. So Slava, I'll get you to roll in.
Can I do Arcana check?
Yes, please do. First roll of the day.
How's the baby? Oh. How's your baby, Devin?
18.
14. Oh, 18.
Excellent. Okay, so
We're getting up on here.
He's a little mad right now.
So
other than that, he's okay.
With an 18,
baby,
you know that this is no ordinary item. This is a hag item. What that means is this is something that has been imbued with hag magic that she would use as sort of a spell foci, or could even have spells imbued within the doll. Do you have detect magic as a spell? I don't remember. I don't think anyone does.
No, I don't think so.
Devin does.
Devin's waving away.
Devin does?
I'm sure Devin does. I'm pretty sure he does.
Okay. Wait, did you? No, you already.
I don't think I have any. I don't have any slots though. I could prep it for tomorrow though.
Okay. So that's what you know about this. Now here's what else you know. You, due to your depth of knowledge in the arcane and some of the more corrupted magics, you know that hags can sense this from a very long ways away. So when it was uncovered or when it was put underneath your wagon, that would probably be what attracted the hags in such force, because they are willing to do, depending on how powerful the item is and how much magic they've accumulated within it and how long they've had that item. So it's kind of a function of like, have they had it for a really long time? Have they imbued it with a lot of magic? You know, it could be one or the other. You know that this is basically stands to reason why they attacked. They wanted this back, and they would stop at almost nothing to get it. That's why they went full bore.
So I look at it, I figure out, I share all this information that you've told us to the group, and I refuse to touch it. Like I will not have anything to do with it.
That weekend?
Yeah.
Keep it away from me.
I'm busy all weekend.
Okay.
Is there
one of the hags got away, right?
Is there any way we could draw the magic out of it?
Okay.
What was imbued with?
They only get back then.
You don't know, Nick, I will just say, you don't actually know if it currently is active. Because none of you have detect magic except for Devin, who doesn't have a spell slot for it. And none of you have... I forget the other word for it, but it is a spell that destroys... Dispel magic. Unless one of you has Dispel magic that I do not know of.
I don't have it. I have it, but not prepped, so I can't use it.
Okay.
I definitely don't.
Not me.
Okay.
I
My
can
question,
fireball
though,
the shit out of it.
is do we use this against people, or should we dispose of it? Like, we could maybe sneak it into one of the cultist carts.
2 wrongs don't make a right. Besides, we don't know if that's how it got there. We suspect, but we don't know.
This magic shouldn't be on this plane. We need to get rid of it.
We don't want to just give it to the hags, though. That would not be wise,
If we
I
need
don't
to get
think.
rid of
We could
it,
destroy it.
I think the safest thing to do would be to smuggle it away from us on the cultist cart.
Destroy it. I vote for
It
destroying
solves
it.
all of our problems at the same time.
Okay, me and Wulrash will take it away from the group since it clearly disturbs them, and we will dispose of it.
Okay.
In a completely safe, non-cultist manner.
Okay. Do you want to? Are you telling? Like, are you just going to tell me you dispose of it, or are you going to tell me what you're actually doing with it, or are you just going to text me?
Well, can we try to burn it? That probably won't work. Just thinking
Do you
here.
think?
I will
You
say,
don't
like,
think destroying it will cause more to come if it's that important to them?
Well, they can't sense where it is if it's destroyed.
I will just say, if you're not familiar with the spell, Nick, dispel magic erases all traces
Oh yeah,
of magic. Oh, okay.
I just
Sorry,
can't use
never
it
mind.
today. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's up to a certain level of spell, and you got to roll after that.
Yep.
Yeah. So either we try to destroy it tonight, or we have to wait till tomorrow. Is the other thing. Or me and
The
Wulrash
sooner
will
the better.
dispose of it. Well, we could definitely get it away from us tonight.
That might be the best thing we can do. Maybe even set up a trap in case they come back for it.
You know, does anyone have who has proficiency in history and who has proficiency in nature? If you have proficiency in it, if you have proficiency
nature.
in that skill, then you can roll me that a check with that. If you don't have proficiency, please don't roll.
Oh, I do with history.
Proficiency in nature?
Yeah.
Pretty sure I do not.
Okay, then.
You know what's right now.
You know what? With a 15, I would say you know enough about the monstrosities that are hags to know that it requires a great deal. It requires a great deal of effort for them to work together as covens. They don't naturally work together. And it's a surprise to you that they didn't turn tail the minute one of them died and the coven connection was broken. So, given that you have broken a coven, it is unlikely that it would take some time for the hags to find another coven and regain enough strength.
So looks like we don't need to rush into destroying it, but destroying it's what we should be doing.
Yeah, because it probably would have no value to us, right? I'm assuming.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, Azazel doesn't want it on this plane, so okay.
No.
Is there anything else you guys?
Actually, I proposed to the group that
the bag of holding.
Can it detect from a bag of holding?
No, I think magic is. I think you put it. It's in a different plane, so they shouldn't be able to detect it.
The bag of holding is an extra dimensional pocket, and therefore is on a different plane of existence.
Yeah, I could put it in my. I could put it into my bag of holding.
Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. We're on the same wavelength here. Because my little companion, he has plane shift for himself only. So what I could have done is got him to hold it, plane shift away, drop it, and come back, and then it's goodbye. See you
God.
later.
That's not a
But
terrible idea either. I didn't realize you
we
had a
don't
companion.
know. Yeah, little
Maybe
Loftus.
Is he not on
we
this
can
map?
store it. Maybe we can store it for tonight, and then
No, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, because otherwise, like, we don't really know where it's gonna end up and who might be able to pick it up.
Yeah.
Or what?
We definitely don't want to blow up our bag of holding, but that's one thing we could do is blow up the bag of holding.
What do you mean blow it up? We can just put it inside.
I know, or maybe you need a second bag of holding to do that. I can't remember. That seems like the best idea.
Okay.
For tonight, anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
put it away.
Ashrock and so Wulrash, you take it and put it in your bag of holding. It's wrapped up in the leather from Ashrock still.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. Cool.
Offer my bag to Ashrock to shove things in as he pleases.
How big is this item?
It's a little doll. It's like this big.
Okay.
It's like it's a doll. It's not very big.
So it'll fit fine then.
Yeah, there's a lot that'll fit into that bag holding.
I could link my bag.
It's a handout, so you might just have to click it and then click show to all players. Because I gave you a specific one, I think. Or I didn't give it to you, you bought it, I believe.
Mimcat edition.
Just a second, bud. Just a second.
Okay, so is there anything anybody else wants to do before we go to bed? Oh, sorry, the caravan master comes up to you guys and says,
Can you go push the shotgun?
Yep.
Thanks.
The caravan master comes up to you guys and says, I can't thank you enough for what you've done. What I can do is offer you free room and board at the next inn we get to in Dragonspear. We have a relationship with a few inns there. One of the main ones, it's a bit nicer. Dragonspear is a bit of a rough town, but it's a bit of a step up. I can offer you free room and board there.
Follow-up question. Were we paying the other hotels stayed at?
You guys haven't. There's only you guys haven't really stayed at a hotel yet, so to speak, an inn.
Okay.
You would be, or you would get. Yeah, you would be, considering you can stay just with the caravan. If you choose to stay at an inn, that comes at your own expense, because that's sort of like you guys getting comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're gonna do long rests, guys. Everybody recover their health, spell slots. Those of you, I don't remember if it's Devin or Azazel or if it's either of you guys, but one of you guys likes to cast Aid at the start of the day, I thought. Just maybe put in the chat who you cast Aid on, and they can add 5 to their temporary hit points.
Yep. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna...
If you don't want to cast Aid, that's also totally fine. I'm just...
Yeah.
Just make sure everyone regains their spell slots.
Okay, I'm gonna unqueue Bless. Actually, I don't have Detect Magic. I lied. I have Detect Poison and Disease. I don't have Detect Magic.
Okay.
What about Locate? No, Locate Object. I feel like we should hold on to that doll. That might come in handy.
Doll's in the bag.
Doll's in the bag. Go. Shit.
So day 13 dawns, and you guys know from just talking to the caravan master and everybody else that you guys are only about a day and a half out of Dragonspear. So you'll reach there about late in the day, probably day 15. So the weather has continued because I believe we rolled for that. And I'm going to be honest here. I don't know who rolled last. So we're just going to go with Apollo. Do you want to roll me a luck check and a perception check for today? The luck check's just a regular d20, and then perception is your perception, obviously. I will say your preferred environment is forest, correct?
That's correct, yes.
So we are entering the Trollbark Forest, so you do have advantage on that perception check. I believe that's how it works, right?
That's correct, yes.
While he's rolling, can you guys just catch me up quick on what...
They put the doll in an extra-dimensional space, so it couldn't be sent. So it's in Wulrash's bag of holding right now. And it is the next morning. Everyone's recovered their spell slots and their HP. Do you want to pick out what spells you want to take today while I'm talking? Perfectly fine.
While I'm preparing to the group, are we going to try to get rid of this magic, or are we holding on to it for the time being?
I think we should hold on to it. Next question. Do we regain hit points overnight, right?
Yep.
Like all of them, or how does that work?
Yeah, all your hit points regain, and then you roll... I believe you roll a d4 if you've lost some hit dice, and you recover that amount of hit dice.
Okay.
If you lost any hit dice, I don't know if you guys did.
I did.
Okay, so then roll a d4 and you recover that many.
7.
It's a pretty nice rolls, Ryan. It's a pretty nice rolls.
And it says I can use my dragon breath equal to the number of my proficiency bonus, which is 3 currently. Okay.
Yeah. So that's just something I would just want you to keep in mind if you use your dragon breath. I think you used it twice, but you automatically recover it the next day because it's your proficiency bonus, right?
Yeah, so I get 3 rages, 3 dragon breaths.
We had temporary hit points before?
You did.
Anyway?
You did. I think Devin's trying to unmute. Here, hang on.
Yeah. No, sorry. I'm just get on the conversation.
Yeah. Who gets your temporary hit points that you're giving them from aid, Devin?
I'm gonna go with Wulrash, Slava, or Azazel, and Ashra.
How many are we looking at?
We had a long rest here, right?
Yep.
5.
Okay, so I'm back to maximum.
62.
Slot remaining 4, slot remaining 2. Okay.
So you said Wulrash,
Azazel, and Ashra.
Sweet.
Are you hungry, bud? Is that why you're mad?
Perfect. Okay, so just roll me a straight d20, Ryan. Okay. So with your perception check, I'm just going to give you a description of what you see, basically. So you guys, in the next morning, passed the Troll Claw Ford. Thankfully, it was without incident.
Sorry, does anyone else have music? Because I don't have music.
You don't have music?
I got music.
I'm playing music.
Check your master volume there, Ryan.
Okay, no, it's something else. Then just keep going. I'll work it out.
Okay.
Raving to Grassland Freedom RPG Travel Adventure Theme Fantasy Planes Music _ D&D.
Okay.
Weirdly specific.
I got it.
You want to come to my raves? We're from the prairies. We rave to grassland. Anyway, so you passed the Troll Claw Ford, and you're leaving behind the river known as Winding Water, and you're kind of finishing out through the Troll Hills. So what's happening is you're coming out of these rolling hills, similar to, if I was to describe it to you, a less Canadian Shield, more Manitoba, so more like the Duck Mountains. You're coming out of these like very large rolling forested hills, and you're going into straight forest. The thing you notice about this forest specifically, Ryan, it's a lot of like low sort of valleys that you're kind of going through, and you see in the distance that there are like far in the distance that looks like there is another sort of almost Duck Mountain like fixture in the distance. Thing you notice about this forest, it is really devoid of birds and small woodland creatures. There is a reason that they call this the troll bark forest. It is thought that the monstrous nature of the predators in this forest don't obey the general laws of nature of predator and prey, and so are less part of the natural ecosystem, and therefore they do a lot of damage to all the sort of creatures in the area. It's you notice that it is also home to a variety of not only mundane trees, but poisonous and carnivorous versions of trees. There are a few trees that you know are effectively similar to Venus fly traps, but they trap animals in this sort of sap that they secrete, and then they sort of absorb those insects into them.
Sounds friendly.
Twisted oaks, black ashes, scrub pines, very thorny underbrush. This is not a pleasant place to go off the beaten track.
Our music definitely does not reflect that. This is like a cheery jaunt through the prairies.
Yeah.
Versus a dark and stormy night through Sleepy Hollow.
Sorry. One moment.
It's fine. Just keep the music going. Let's move the story.
Yeah. Anyway. I just realized you were right, and I forgot to get music for this, so we're just gonna keep with this one. Anyway. There's a lot of thorny foliage, poisonous snakes, and you notice there are giant brown slugs that are hanging off some of the trees. Some as large as your like two fists put together.
That was nice.
That's what you notice.
Can I do something while we're on traveling?
Absolutely, you can.
I wanted to shove some fireball spells into my ring of angelic memory.
Okay. So I believe you can shove one fireball and then one second level spell into it if you wish.
Because it's just 5 total, right?
5 levels of spells, yes.
Okay, so I already have a sanctuary in there, so I'll just put in one fireball. Sorry, continue? I'll just shove. I'll put in.
I will remind you that because you're using an item, this fireball cannot be twinned, but you still have an extra fireball in it.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. Oh, that's first, so I can put in another first level spell. Okay.
Correct.
Continue.
Andrew, giant slugs, are these the delicacy of which your people are so famously enamored with?
No. Not at all. Our people are more interested in woolly elephants and walruses and that kind of thing. This land is very alien to me. I do not feel comfortable here. We should leave here as soon as possible.
In case magical slugs can speak, I shout out in magical slug, "Hey, how did you get so big?"
They answer with a hiss that you understand, that doesn't communicate so much in words, but basically says, many delicious small things.
Know where I can find them?
The delicious small things, they've eaten most of them, but you get the feeling like that's where a lot of the small flora and fauna went, is these slugs and some other monstrous creatures.
So they don't like to share the food?
Not particularly. They're not very vocal. They are giant poisonous slugs.
Well, they're poisonous now. See, we're learning.
Yes, you got me there. Ashok, you had a question about whether you were... Sorry, I interrupted this conversation. That's why I'm bringing us back up. Whether you're dispelling magic on this doll or not?
I think we decided just to wait for now.
Okay. Anything else anybody wants to get done today? We're just heading in. It is Apollo's day. So Apollo, do you want to get Gruck to search for the poisonous stuff?
Not feeling very well right now.
Oh, right. Okay. Fair enough.
I don't want to bother him.
Fair enough. He had a rough day the other day. More than fair. Okay, guys, I'm just going to be on. This day turns out pretty uneventful. There's a general sort of excitement at camp because the next day they expect to be in Dragonspear next evening. So you guys bed down for the night. The perception check, I'm just going to keep it. Nothing really happens. You wake up the next day, and the next day it is... Wulrash, it is your day to roll weather, D100, D20 for luck, and perception check.
Okay, so I'm going to go character sheet perception. Ooh, I noticed nothing. Cool. Then I want a D20 and a D100.
I know nothing.
Yeah,
What's up,
pretty
buddy?
much.
What's your weather roll?
Not feeling well, buddy?
71.
So you might want to have a lick at this later.
Just clear skies. Clear skies. Nice, nice time to travel in.
Wanna have a little
So
lick
you
at this
guys,
later? Eat some chip on
after
the
going
morning,
through a distinct amount of sort of dark forested area, even though it's clear skies, it's kind of like a narrow strip of sunlight that kind of greets you, that kind of weaves in between the trees. You start to feel a difficulty in travel, but a lightness in your hearts, because it seems the world is getting lighter, but what's actually happening is you're just coming up to a very gradual rise over what will overlook at midday Dragonspear. And so at midday, you guys...
I'd like to point out that my passive perception is good, but my perception roll is not.
Yep. Depending on what it is, sometimes I take your roll, sometimes I take your passive.
Is there no dark mode on this?
There is. Left-hand side,
corner.
called... It's a little half moon there.
What was your perception roll, Steve?
Oh, hallelujah.
It looks like you rolled a
That didn't make it
D4
any better.
instead of a D20.
That made it worse.
Nope.
Shitest dark mode
1d20
ever.
plus 3. 1d20 plus 3.
What D20 plus 3 plus 1, actually.
The bracket and the 4 is the... Oh, yeah. Anyway. So you guys crest a ridge coming out of the forest, and you see this. This is Dragonspear. Dragonspear Castle was built across 3 low hills on the southwestern edge of the high moor east of the center of the Trollbark Forest, and it's where the coastway, so the kind of the coastal trade route, joins the tradeway. So after this, you guys will be directly on the tradeway route, and will be on much more traveled roads. At least once you exit Dragonspear. So you guys want to roll me, those who have proficiency in it, you want to roll me a history check?
Oh, are we all rolling history here?
Just those who have proficiency in it.
Yeah, I'm not real good on the thinking skills.
You're good at the swinging skills.
I'm a great swinger.
Okay, no one needs that when Slava can't roll below a 12.
Keep your swing skills to yourself.
So, you know that Dragonspear has a long and storied history, specifically to do with its keep. It once held a magic item called the Dragonspear that was used to open a portal to one of the 9 hells and had demons rushing through it. That spear was then broken and reconstructed into a different magical artifact that now keeps the portals closed, provided it has enough magical charge. And Dragonspear has been stable for the last 10 or so years, 10 to 15 years. But there was a long period of time where the Dragonspear has been host to like 3 different wars. 2 of them that were fought specifically inside Dragonspear against foes that came rushing out. One was basically a lich that tried to reconquer the city and destroy the Dragonspear. The other one was a noble that got a hold of the Dragonspear and tried to open a portal to the 9 hells for his own gain and ended up just creating a war zone of a city. So you know that there is a cave system underneath the castle, and that on top of the castle, interspersed with the different roofs and turrets, is the skeleton of a giant red dragon. The outermost walls of the keep have 9 grand towers encircling it as defensive measures. Basically, this is a tough city, but it's a city that's gone through a lot, and so it is rough around the edges. The walls look depleted. Things look like they've stood the test of centuries rather than standing the test of decades. So it looks rough, but it still looks very defensible. Still looks very difficult to take over. Still looks strong, but like, there's holes, there's patchwork, there's obviously places as you approach, you can see there's places where the ramparts have been reconstructed with either cheaper stone, what was available, or wooden wood, stuff like that. So the caravan master comes up to you guys and lets you know that basically his advice is to find an inn called the 3 Old Kegs and bed down for the night if you wish. Otherwise, you can hold with the caravan, who are inside the outermost walls of the city, because there is like almost like a smaller wall, kind of like a wagon wheel. There's a smaller wall outside where a lot of like caravans and different things can kind of come in and go around, so that they can be defended for the night. It is late.
Dragon skeleton that's sitting on top of the entire city.
Yeah. A lot of things are in the dragon's shadow, which seems to cast even more of sort of like a pall over the city. Entering the city, you guys note that it's kind of shutting down for the day, and it seems like it's
That's me.
It seems like that basically the city seems to close up early. Businesses close at around 5 o'clock, and then the inns and taverns and other drinking houses open. You do note, as you make your way through, everything looks just a little bit dirtier than other cities you've been in. It's not gross, it's not disgusting, but everybody looks more rough around the edges. There's a lot of buildings that have been abandoned and not repaired. Not gonna lie, this is kind of the Detroit of this area of Felduin.
I really thought he was going to go with Alberta.
I was going to say Swan River.
Less
Have you
crime.
been to rural Alberta? I filled up in fucking Big Valley the other day, and oh man, that place is dicey. I mean, it was lovely.
You do, however, see a large guard presence. They are well armed, well equipped.
Follow-up question.
Yep.
Are we talking a lot of guards or one really fat?
A lot of guards.
Okay.
Good call. Valid question. And you do notice a lot of guards, and you notice that unlike other cities you've been to, every single person is carrying a weapon.
Everyone's carrying a weapon.
Everyone's carrying a weapon.
Alright.
Even if it's just a knife and a little knife in a rusty scabbard, everybody's got something. Everybody's packing heat.
Where's Swan River?
A bigger Swan River, but yeah, not far off. Swan River if it had a castle. Okay. So the caravan master has given you a free room and board at the inn. The old three old kegs. Things are kind of closing down for the night. What do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to go to the inn?
Best place to start.
I'm not going to den. I'm going to find a kitchen.
There is a kitchen at the inn, so you could go with them. That's where you'll go.
I'm hungry. I want to eat some food.
Sounds good.
I'd say let's go to the inn.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy.
I kind of figured. Okay, so you guys approach. One moment.
I need to screen.
You guys approach the inn, and you note that it is
Happy hour.
as you walk in. Two things kind of stand out at you. One, Valentina and Lady Valentina and her, who's looking somewhat now sort of recovered brother. He still has a vague look of hungoverness on him, but not like deathly hungover, just sort of generally pale. This man has a distinct alcohol issue. And you guys should notice that you're all able to move your characters here, so it's up to you. You walk in, and Apollo walks straight up to the bar. So are you guys all entering? I'm assuming. Okay, so as you guys all enter, you do note that like a lot, like it's not like when you sit down and everybody turns to stare at you, but like a lot of people are eyeing you strictly because three of you have pets, not the most common of pets. One of you has a flying lotus flower, one of you has a flying mini dragon, and one of you has a goblin. And so as you guys enter, there's a little bit of like, who the fuck are these people? So, couple things.
I do my typical thing, hood on, cantrip, change up my features a bit.
Okay, one moment.
I think Mushu basically becomes my scarf. That's our go-to.
Yeah, Tio is like under one of my wings.
Where did he come from, anyways? Just I totally missed that somehow.
Oh, from my egg. He was my side of the story.
Egg. Right, the egg. I forgot. I completely forgot about the egg.
Yeah. I don't blame you. It was
Please
my
settle.
B story.
Please settle. Please settle. Dear God. I'm out of milk now, so...
Okay,
dead.
only one of these menus worked, so one...
Wow. Whole menu.
This is Lady Valentina right at the table.
No, she's outside right now. I will drag her in 2 seconds.
Oh, sorry, I see her.
I just have to...
Where the fuck are we? Where are we? Where am I? Oh, okay. Da-da-da. Can I scope out to see
There we
if there's
go.
any
Both halves of the menu now. Let me just finish describing this for you guys real
Sure.
quick here. So, general feel of the inn is a lot rougher than what you're used to, but there at the same time, like it seems very warm and bright inside, almost like a contradiction here. So I will say two things. You can roll insight if you have. Oh, that's beautiful. Roll insight if you have proficiency in it, or your background has anything to do with soldiers or mercenaries.
What are we doing
Yeah,
here?
just give me a second. I want
Just as you walk in, I just as you guys walk in and sit down, I just want some people to roll some insight.
I don't want to sit down.
1 second.
I want
Okay.
to talk to this guy here.
No, you will. Just as you walk in, what I mean is
Insight, you said?
insight.
Okay, yeah, because I've been
Everyone
around.
rolling
I've been
it?
around soldiers my whole life. So no, I rolled with advantage. No,
No,
What
you
the
just
hell?
rolled a
Oh.
+1. You rolled with guidance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Turn that off. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't show them the macros.
With a
With the 20.
So with a 20, I'm going to apply that to everybody. So with a 20, you guys walk up, and as you walk up to the bar, Ander walks up with you guys, and he kind of whispers this quietly. So you notice the most general thing is that there are a lot of mercenaries in this bar. There's a few farm folk and stuff like that, but there are telltale signs that you specifically notice people are mercenary work. They have better equipment. The type of equipment, however, is varied. And you basically clock them, and you're like, this is a mercenary hangout. This is where a lot of mercenaries come to chill out after their work, anything else like that. That's probably why the establishment is actually a little bit richer and can afford some richer prices. If you guys will notice, Ryan, you especially might be interested in this, I did post the menu into the Discord general chat.
No, that's what that was.
Specifically, you notice there are two at the opposite ends of the bar. Both of them kind of hold themselves like they could pull a weapon out at any moment. They just have that like coiled spring, that lethality to them. One of them is a remarkably tall dwarf, and the other one is someone wearing not only a hooded cloak but also a covering that covers his like sort of a scarf that sort of covers his nose and mouth that he like pulls down to take a sip and then pulls back up.
COVID protocols.
Yeah. You notice that there are a few people in that the one thing you guys do notice, however, Devin, with that 20, is that the dwarf at the bar is eyeing you with some interest, but the guy beside you and a certain back table, this one right here, are eyeing you more than anybody else. It almost looks like they're analyzing you, like checking your threat level. So I'm going to give you that to listen to, and then before you respond to that, sorry Ryan, it is your go now. You walk up. You notice beside you is the tall dwarf, raven black hair and these piercing amber eyes. You notice the tall human, sort of greasy, lanky, long black hair, face covering. And then you notice across the way, I will blow this up so everyone can see it because I learned a trick. You notice the bartender. It is a dwarf with sort of a fiery red beard, multiple sort of tattoos, and a big grin on his face. Not sure if it's friendly, but it's a big grin. And he goes, what can I do you fine folk for?
Your kitchen?
Aye, we have a kitchen.
Can I use it?
Can you use it? You
Yeah.
don't want to... You want to use it and not eat from it?
Oh, I'm going to make something. Are you hungry?
Well, that's a strange request. I ain't never had that in these parts before, but, huh. I don't usually trust much folk back there. I got my cook back there, Hilda, human woman. She's a good lady, a good sort, but she runs a pretty tight ship. Excuse me, she's a half-orc. Hilda is the half-orc.
Oh, she's Orc. I speak Orc.
Okay. He looks you up and down. I guess roll me a persuasion check. Were you guys able to see the innkeep, by the way, when I pressed that button? Okay.
I'm gonna play my card. Did you see it? How do I play my card?
You should just be able to drag it into the center, and we should all be able to see it.
Yeah.
Okay. What was you can wait till after you rolled to play the card.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, you just can't. I just can't. If I start telling you the result of what happened, then it's too late. But you can roll and be like, "Oh, I rolled a 4. Well, I'm not going to use it."
Oh, I see. Okay, let me see.
So roll your persuasion check first.
God, there's so many screens open here. I'm only on one screen at the moment.
I understand that feel.
Persuasion.
Persuasion.
Oh, I wrote it with the Gruk.
Okay. Are you going to add your card to that?
Yes, I will.
Okay. Nice beer. Nice beer, Devin.
Ransack the universe.
With a
nice grit
with
to
a
it.
16. He was 16. He says, "Listen, we're busy right now. Why don't you come back near the end of the night when people start quieted down? Let's say 12, and I'll introduce you to Hilda. You impress her? Well, what more can I say? She might take you on, or she might let you cook for her. Hard to say."
Sounds good. I'll take that.
Sounds good. So
I guess I'll have a drink then if you've got one.
yeah, you can see on the menu what do you guys want to order. Whatever you want to order, just can you guys put yourself in the bar wherever you're sitting? Oh, sorry, I'll move this person. He looks at you, Ryan. He goes, "I go by the name of Trebon. What's yours?"
Apollo.
"Nice to meet you, Apollo. What can I get you?"
I have 2 green dragon ales, please.
Coming right up. Take out the silver from your inventory.
2 silver pieces a piece, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lady Valentina goes up to the bar because her brother's kind of walking up there, and then she says, "That is enough," and drags him over by you, Wulrash.
I have my beers, right?
You have your beers, Apollo? Yep.
Okay. I'm just gonna go sit over here.
As you grab your beers, the dark-haired gentleman at the bar snorts and kind of says, "Guess they're letting anyone in these days."
I just walk back to my table and say, he's obviously not talking about me, and just go back to my table.
Fair enough.
Nobody else is thinking roll for initiative at this moment?
What's that, sorry?
Said no one else is thinking roll for initiative?
The rest of you guys?
I'll go sit with Apollo. I'll make my order for steak and potatoes, and then I'll go and put my silver on the counter and sit with Apollo. This is the very corner of the room, isn't it?
It is,
yeah,
yes.
That's perfect. Who is this green guy up beside
That
us?
is a lizard folk. He is basically a giant bipedal lizard, not to be mistaken for Dragonborn. Very different.
Nowhere near as cool.
He is currently effectively warming himself by one of the many sort of small wood stoves that have some chairs stacked around it. In the center of this inn, you see there's almost like a sunken area, kind of like those sunken living rooms. And there's one hooded woman there, a very flamboyant. You can't tell if he's a pirate or a bard pretending to be a pirate, but a very flamboyantly dressed gentleman. But again, the thing you notice is like, while you might not have taken some of these people seriously, everyone's got a blade. As you pass by the table, to the north of you, Devin, two of the guys there wearing mail armor. Huh? Can you believe it? First they're letting lizard folk in. Now there's a guy with a bow and a little green one, and some armored fucker. Can you believe it? This didn't used to be good. And the other guy goes, "I used to be. Now they let any shitbird in." And they're just like staring at you.
Yeah, that's what he does.
And then they like go back to their food. The masked gentleman does not say anything.
Okay.
I'm gonna buy them a couple drinks.
Okay. The barmaid comes around.
I'm gonna turn on my heel, go back to the bar.
Okay.
Ask, what are those two gentlemen over there drinking?
Green Dragon Ales. Why?
All right. I'll take 3.
Done.
Okay. So I grab the mugs. I go and I sit down right beside them. I put the drinks in front of them.
Before you do that, the dwarf looks at you, sees what you're doing, and goes, "I see what you're trying to do, lad. There's queer folk in here now. There's queer folk in here tonight. I wouldn't try it, but it's your funeral."
Queer in what way? What kind of a man would turn down a free drink?
He just sidelong glances at the other masked gentleman, that the masked human at the end of the table, who's now staring back at the dwarf. And the dwarf just looks back at you and goes, "Never mind me. Just been an odd night. I'll stick to my."
Can I do an insight check?
Yep. And then Ashrock and Wulrash will get to you. Azazel, what are you up to? Oh, you're outside, just chilling.
I'm outside. Well, I'm just taking care of business.
Okay, so what are you looking for, Devin?
I'm looking at his reaction. I'm looking, is he afraid of the masked man? Is he realizing he has obligations? Is he what is his face telling me? What is his demeanor telling me? And especially because I have a background with dwarves, I would know a little bit about their mannerisms and stuff.
Yeah, okay. So with your background in dwarves and a 15, what I would say is that this is a very friendly gesture by him. It seems truthful. His face, while you can tell this is a dwarf that's been around and probably doesn't mind lying, his first comment was out of sort of a general concern. But then he clearly looked around and was like, "You know what? Best not stick my neck out. I've got responsibilities."
Okay. All right. I'm going to grab my beer and head to the table then.
Can I give this lizard some hyena jerky?
You fucking absolutely can. What do you say to him, actually?
I don't say anything. I just get some hyena jerky out and I sort of gesture this lizard over here.
Okay.
In a very nice way.
Yeah. You hold up some hyena jerky. Go kind of like, not in a way like you're doing it to a dog, in a way where you're just like, hand it to him. He kind of sniffs the air, pulls out, looks at you, snatches it, eats it in one gulp, licks his lips, stares at you, goes into his bag, pulls out a piece of carved bone, hands it to you, and says, "More?"
I got one more piece left I can give you. I mean, get it out and then give it to him.
You get a piece of carved bone, and it's carved in some sort of... it's carved in a sort of a symbol to look like a sort of a miniature spear with jagged edges.
No one else hearing elevator music? Okay.
Oh, definitely.
I'm gonna give this bone to Grut.
Okay. Yeah, Gruck grabs it. Ashrock, what's up?
I'll order some fish and chips for me and Mushu. I'll get a couple dragon ales and a cup of water if I could.
Yep. The bartender looks at you, looks at your miniature dragon, and goes, "You know, I see a lot of interesting things. That's the first time I've seen whatever the hell that is. That's somewhere between cute and scary. Can I touch him?"
Yeah, you can get a closer look. I signal for Mushu that it's okay to go.
He outstretches
Follow
his
to the
hand,
bar?
and you kind of expect him to sort of like grab, but instead he like actually does like the correct way to like greet a pet, and kind of nods his head respectfully, like this is not just a normal pet; it's something that has a little bit of knowledge. Azazel, what's up?
I finish what I'm doing outside, and while everyone's doing their thing and getting their drinks, I go and I order. 1 second. Just a
What?
cottage pie.
Okay, while you're
And
there,
then-
roll me a perception check.
I just wanted to sort of lag behind everyone.
Yep, totally makes sense. I just wanted to get to you in turn. Okay. Nothing really that you notice other than what I've already said.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Once I get my drinks, Liam,
Yep.
can I go find kind of the roughest, most beaten down looking farmer in the bar? Go share a drink with him.
You most definitely can. He is this gentleman right here. He's leaning on a pitchfork. It looks like not even like a metal one, just like one of them like really like peasant-y pitchforks. And he has the smallest blade in the entire tavern. It is barely suitable to gut a fish, maybe suitable to cut up a pear. Everybody else has like legit daggers, even the hooded woman standing beside him.
Maybe a jagged butter knife at best.
Yes, correct.
Care for a drink, friend?
Aye. That would go down well, young one.
What's got you looking so beaten down?
Gestures vaguely at everything. We've had a hard life here. She's a rough one, but I find consolation in my drink. Only thing I got left now, after the wars.
Fuck, what a downer.
Do you have crops, or do you just walk around with a pitchfork?
I have a garden that I tend keeps me alive.
It might be a strange request, but if you don't mind, could you show it to me? I'll show you something you've never seen before.
Aye, but can I finish me drink first?
Oh, for sure.
Aye. it would be nice to see something. I was always a fan of miracles. Too bad I never got one of my own.
Well, maybe we'll change that today.
So okay, now we're back to Devin. Or are you occupied right now?
I'm okay. I'm just
So
hanging out with Apollo.
You insight checked the dwarf. You were gonna go give the 3 beers to the guys. Did you?
Nah.
Okay.
Fuck them. I took them with me.
Okay. The guys notice that. They do clock that, and they just look at you like, with your 15 insight, I'll just say you note that it's like, they look at you like, do you have something to prove? And it seems like, based on that insight check, rather than thinking you have something to prove, it's almost like they have something to prove. So that'll result.
In that case, I put a beer in front of an empty chair and tip it up like it's reserved.
Okay, fair enough. Wulrash, what's up?
There you go. Okay, I'm going to talk to Lady Valentina. And we finally found some, safe haven from the road. Has she heard anything of Poppy lately?
What's up, Devin?
I was just doing air quotes on the safe haven part.
Okay. Sorry.
Doesn't feel very safe.
I thought you were like, emergency, I need to say something. Okay.
For that, I'll just wave.
No, I have not. I feel that we may catch up with our mail in Daggerford. That is what I'm hoping. Here, there is less of a population of like-minded souls, you could say. People willing to help one such as I. I feel that if Poppy has arranged for anything, it will be in Daggerford. It is she leans forward. It is a happier place, and this is coming from me.
Where's this song from, Liam? I recognize it.
Probably The Witcher.
Witcher. Definitely The Witcher.
It's called Nightingale.
Shame. I do worry of Poppy. Speaking of worry, I am not overly familiar with other races. However, this particular establishment doesn't seem safe. Are you and your brother... Do you have plans for you and your brother to... somewhere tonight where you can rest easy?
We were going to bed down here, but if you do not think it is safe, I have heard good things from the caravan master about this place. Although the current company does leave something to be desired. But I have to say, I have been pretty safe when you're around.
If you wish to spend the night here, we will make it safe. I promise.
She smiles. It's at this point that her brother downs a shot and then an entire beer, and she looks over at him, and he seems to be kind of weebling and wobbling already, and she just kind of sighs and puts her hand on top of you, this kind of dainty pale hand on top of your large scaled one, and goes, "This brings me joy. I appreciate your friendly company."
I'm gonna order some drinks.
I think we're good.
Probably food. I need a round of...
Whatever you guys order for food, just make sure you minus it from your inventory, or from your gold count. So Azazel, do you sit by the dwarf there?
Sorry, which dwarf?
The one that you're currently standing. That gentleman right there.
Yeah. I'm just at the bar.
He's at the bar. Okay.
At the bar.
You note. Roll me insight. Roll me insight as well. Okay. All right. Okay. With a 20 insight, the dwarf doesn't seem to take any notice of you, really. Like, you're just there. Cool. That's fine. The gentleman with the mask, however, looks at you and then spits on the floor.
Is that with this guy here?
With a 20 in insight, you note that is very odd because you didn't come in with everybody else.
Well, I think just spitting on the floor would have been a big enough alert that something's odd. Let me think what I'm doing.
So you're currently sitting down, right, Wulrash?
Yes, I am eating my cabbage, sausages, and potato soup next to Lady Valentina. But I've promised her that if she wants to stay here, we're going to make this establishment safe for her.
Okay. While
I'm keeping an eye out.
No matter how many people we have to kill.
Yeah. Who do I need to hit with my hammer to deliver this promise? Kind of in the back of my head right now.
While after this guy spits, he stands up and goes around the bar and sits back down. The bartender kind of looks at him, looks at you, and kind of goes, "Unruly crowd tonight. You have history in this place, son? You have history in this place, son?"
My God.
I've never been, but I'm familiar with the place through my learnings.
Fair enough. What can I get you?
I'll have your potato onion soup, and I give him 20 silver pieces, and I say that the remaining is for anyone else who passes by that looks hungry and can't afford food.
Okay. He looks at you in shock. This is a very odd move, especially in this place. And then the guy at the end of the table says, "Fucking good-for-nothing do-gooders. Always throwing their fucking money around in these places. I thought you'd have some better clientele." And Trebon looks at him and says, "You're new here, too. Don't go making trouble where there ain't any to be made." And kind of like puts his glass down with more force and he says, "Kind of ya. I won't lie. It's a bit of a shock. But I'll keep that handy." As this happens, Slava, you note that because this guy has moved around, you are now within your line of sight goes to the woman that is of some avian race. She has actual feathers, sort of a half human, half avian lady, and you recognize her as one of the members of the adventuring party who had lost a member, and you consoled them last time. She sees you and she walks right up to you. She kind of goes, It's great to see you again, even in a place like this. Seems like you're having a bit of a rough time. Can I join you for a drink?"
Oh, absolutely. I wave her over, saying that this seat was previously occupied, but clearly this is going to be an upgrade.
That's nice of you to say. I just wanted to say that our group did break up after what you saw, but your words they had an effect on me. I just wanted to say how much I appreciated that. There can be many evil men and mer alike in these lands, and it is rare to find one that is just good without being of a just good, without having something underneath. And did you tell them? Sorry, Sava, really quick. Did you tell them that you were of a divine order, or were you just consoling them about their grief? I don't remember.
I was just consoling them about their grief. Oh no, but then I did spread as Asriel's I guess I evangelized Asriel
a little bit. Okay, fair enough. Okay, yeah. I couldn't remember if you did that or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this the part with the mushrooms, or when did this happen? Just out of curiosity.
This was when you guys were meeting on Thar Froom. It was a really long time ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I fucking couldn't remember.
That's fair. I couldn't remember the exact details, but I remembered enough. So you guys are all sitting down. Sorry, Azazel, go ahead.
No. That's if it's just us talking. I don't think there's anything like grander I want out of this engagement.
Okay, I'm just letting you guys can just continue the night chatting, same as Valentina and Wulrash. Mm-hmm. You guys notice that the table far by Apollo and Ander is getting more and more rowdy. They're kind of going like, kind of talking about like, can't wait to kill some more fuckers, like very gross mercenary talk, like not just like your regular sort of like, gotta fight, gotta kill some guys. They're like cracking up.
They do it because they enjoy it. People.
Yeah. And they make a lot of comments about weaklings with armor, with big plate, with big. Oh no, you still have your mail right now. Sorry, you don't have your plate. So they make some comments about basically weaklings who hide behind religion, and they start commenting on the lizard person in the corner who has now joined you guys for a drink, and is just kind of he isn't saying much, but he appreciates Apollo's invitation, and he kind of is just sitting there with you guys, quiet, and he kind of says, "You guys have nice weapons. You trade much for those?" He just kind of says this to the group.
Most of the weapons we've acquired along the way, and some we perform.
You must have killed great warriors for this. And as he says this, the guys in the corner are making comments about how, certain people shouldn't even be like, basically comparing the lizard person to a regular animal. You can tell the lizard person is completely unbothered by this, but he's.
Is it just one person? Or
no, it's these three.
Is this one person?
These three, who with the 20 insight check.
I'm gonna pick up my glass. And I throw it at one of them.
You throw it at one of them. Okay.
Fuck me dead.
Yeah. As you do this, as you pick up the glass and you throw it, you notice that this happens simultaneously. The guy in the corner sees you stand up. He pulls out a crossbow bolt, aims it at Wulrash, and fires. We're gonna roll for initiative.
I
I was
was-
just hanging
I
out.
was I
Minding
was
my own business. I
I
know
was
you're
gonna
gonna
cast
shoot me.
Emissary of Peace. I was gonna try and diffuse the situation. You didn't even give peace an option. All
I
right.
was about to start some shit, but now you shot me, so now I have to. Come on.
I was just about to say that I wanted to prep haste because I knew it was gonna go down.
Hey, just can we throw this out here? Our DM's an asshole.
I'm grabbing this
Doesn't
farmer
he-
next to me
he's
and
a chance. You fucking warmonger. You just want to try and kill us again. All right.
1 second. I'm just getting all of your initiatives in order here.
Oh, don't forget, I have
and-
advantage on initiative with my werewood staff, and it should warn me if there's any danger, and clearly it's not been doing its thing.
So what that did though, so I was actually, you know what, you're right, Slava, I should have mentioned that. But basically the reason you guys didn't get a surprise round is in combination with, basically, this fight was going to happen anyway, but your alert feat, between Wulrash's alert feat and your staff, that's why they didn't get a surprise round when Apollo stood up, because their initiative is ridiculous.
Also, like,
Hey.
hearing the provocations and stuff, I kind of wanted to prep Sanctuary. Same as Azazel. I could sense the tension, and I was thinking it would be necessary. Would you let me do that?
No.
Motherfucker. Ah. So who are we fighting? Just fucking everybody, or what? Who's got a health bar?
Am I missing anyone? Does anyone have
No.
a health bar for you guys?
No,
Good.
just Gruck.
Lady Valentina. Okay. So so to speed things up, my enemies are gonna fight at once. So the assassins are gonna go. Because they didn't get a surprise round, this is gonna be interesting. So this one pulls out 2 short swords, and oh, sorry guys.
Very cheery battle music.
It's like Scottish battle music.
There we go.
I just
do
put-
it, bud. Did you take it this time?
So Apollo, this guy is going to do. What's your AC, Apollo?
I see.
17.
17, yes.
Both short sword attacks
Did you add your?
miss you.
Okay.
Wait, when does the veteran go? Oh, 12. Okay. This assassin is going. They rolled a die, Wulrash. That's why they hit you first. Is going to attack you with a light crossbow.
First of all,
So this is out of turn, though, right?
No, it's in turn.
Because I thought I had the second to roll then on the initiative.
You did. You rolled an
What did you roll for
18.05.
Yeah, so is it not my
He
turn?
does.
No, it's 18 point. The assassin has a slightly higher dex than you do, so it beats you out by the
Yeah,
point.
but you just attacked me and missed, right?
Yeah, but it's like all the assassins are going, and then it's your turn, and then everybody, and then other people are like, I'm not sure what's up.
Like the assassin's initiative is 18.19. Yours is 18.
And I'm doing all the assassins.
He just grouped the initiatives to make it.
I'm trying to speed a battle up a little bit.
I understand that. Okay, I get it. I didn't. There's more than one of these assassins.
Yes, there's more than one of these assassins. Sorry, that's what I should have said. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting confused
Yeah,
about.
that's
It's
more
like
than
you just
fair.
had to go.
That's a DM bad. Wulrash, what is your AC?
High.
14.
14.
14?
Yeah.
Wow, this just misses. Okay. This assassin is going to take cover behind one of the chairs, and you know what? It's just going to fire at a Wulrash as well, seeing one of the bullets dodged. It's going to try and get at Wulrash as well. What's your AC again? 14? So this is... Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to roll twice. This is... They rolled a 15. You take 11 piercing damage. Please roll a Constitution saving throw.
Oof. That's a lot of damage.
You take 14 points of poison damage.
Additionally?
Additionally.
That's 25
Jesus.
total.
Fucking Christ. You are trying to kill us.
Assassins have poison.
Down to 37 health.
Apollo, it is now your turn. You are currently within the one assassin's range.
I'm going to... I'm going to cast Healing Spirit.
Okay. Put that in the chat for me, please.
That's a bonus action.
Right. You want to draw the box for me? Wherever you place it?
Sure can. Yeah. Here.
Okay. Okay, a 9 misses.
The lowest you can roll is a 9. That's fucking ridiculous.
Oh shit! I did that. I did the wrong thing.
I was gonna say, are short swords dex based? I thought rapiers were, but I wasn't sure if short
No,
swords.
that's completely wrong.
Okay, no worries. Just do it again.
It should not have Colossus Slayer on there.
Well, I mean, like if the attack is what you wanted to attack, then we're gonna keep that attack.
Yeah, but what is the?
It's okay.
Short swords might be finesse, actually. I think.
Okay. Well, either way, it's a 9, so that doesn't hit, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think short swords are finesse, actually. I think they are, because that's what's his name had.
Right. Okay.
There's no
Sweet.
difference between.
Okay, so do you want to spend your movement, or is that all your turn?
No, I can attack again.
Oh, right. Yes, you can.
I'm gonna take a bag out of my rucksack.
You can't. You already used one of your actions to attack. You already used your first action, so you got to either attack again, or like you can't really do anything else. Like you can't take anything out of a bag.
I will attack again then.
Fair enough.
Why has that got Colossus Slayer on there? 1d6. Why is Colossus attached to that? I don't know why that's doing that. I'm going to edit it. 1d6 plus 5. That d6. I don't need Colossus Slayer on there. Okay. That should be right this time.
So, Azazel, you're going to be up soon.
There you
So,
go.
19 does hit. Take 8 points of damage. The assassin, like, you whip out 2 blades, and he saw your bow, so the assassin is kind of surprised because he didn't quite clock your blades, and you do 2 slashes, and you slash at him. The first one, he dodges out of the way. Second one, he hits him, and he looks at you, like, in surprise, like he didn't expect you to actually be able to hurt him. It is now Lady Valentina. It's now basically the villagers' turn. So Lady Valentina is going to get underneath the table with her brother and hide underneath the table. The barmaid is going to run behind the bar. These guys are going to dive into the center of this area here and try and hide. This drunk guy is going to weeble and wobble and try and fall over this bench. He successfully falls over the bench. This woman and this gentleman right here straight up just run out the door. And Trebon yells, "Take it the hell outside! What the hell is going on here? You're not even using your fists!" And you guys see that the woman that's talking to Slava and the dwarf beside Azazel stand up and draw their weapons. One second, sorry. The Dessa is going to run up to the assassin and make 2 short sword attacks. She hits on the first one. And on the second. She hits with both. She takes out her short swords, and with some quick blade work that's almost too fast to see, she plunges one right and skins the guy right on the ribs and goes for a downward stab, and she actually takes a part of his shoulder with her blade. She rolled really well. She does a total of 25 damage.
Nice.
Azazel, you are up.
You know, I didn't realize that the guys like at the bar were also enemies. So everything I planned for was against, people at the other side there. Or are they targeting me? Because they wouldn't know that I was affiliated with.
So the
dwarf next to you. You mean?
Yeah.
He's not attacking you. Like he drew his weapons and is looking straight at the assassin across from you. He's almost got his back to you because he knew something was up when these assassins kept making like motions and stuff like that at you guys, and he's been on his guard since Devin tried to buy them a drink.
Okay.
So
okay, good.
It's also like in his mind, it's one thing to throw a beer ball, it's quite another to pull out a fucking crossbow at a bar.
Hold on a second. I was trying to buy these guys a drink.
Which guys?
Over here, these ones over here. Not these ones.
Okay, well I said that specifically the table that are insulting you. These are the table that was
I
insulting.
thought you meant no. So it was just the way you communicated that. Because
Okay.
you said as I was walking by to the north, there's 2 tables to the north.
Okay.
I thought it was these guys.
Okay.
Okay.
I kept referencing.
problem.
Yeah,
No
that's
problem.
okay. It's just this is the northmost table. These are the guys I was trying to mention.
Northmost
Sorry if I
okay.
wasn't that clear.
Nope. fine.
So
All good.
So
Just confused. That's all.
Who's trying to kill us now? Like this
So-
guy clearly.
So
This
And
guy.
those two, and then
these two
This
have
one
also
here.
these two have also pulled out weapons. This guy's pulled out a weapon, but his back is basically facing you, so
Yeah.
he's not. And the woman that you were talking to just attacked the assassin that has a crossbow aimed directly at you.
Okay. So, at this point, I will. Okay, this doesn't change too much then.
I was gonna say I didn't think it did, but
I thought the action was all on the one side. It changes
No.
a little bit. So I am going to cast fire. No, I'm just kidding.
burn the inn down.
Yeah,
Please fireball.
The only inn in town. Burn it down.
So
I'm just gonna say I am ready to put some fucking poppy seeds in this milk. Like I'm ready. I'm fully. I understand. I get it. I only got one, not 13 of the little buggers. Come on, buddy.
I will quicken spell one of my cantrips,
okay.
and I'll cast Pull the Dead at
Ooh, nice.
the guy attacking Dessa.
Okay.
Never mind,
He has
that's
to
not
roll what kind of a save? Sorry.
Wisdom.
He rolled an 18,
Okay.
which is shocking because he has not
yeah.
that high of wisdom. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
Whose dog is that?
I don't mind
Ryan.
giving you the detail.
And then, because that was my bonus
my dog.
action,
Yep.
I will then twin not a fireball for the first time. I'll twin a hold person
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
at this guy
Okay.
and also this guy.
Also wisdom saving throws, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first gentleman on the north side rolled a 7.
Okay.
So, wrong button. So he is fully restrained, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And any attacks on him, are they criticals or are they just have advantage? Look that up for me while I roll the saves for the second
they're
guy.
paralyzed. So
They're paralyzed, so
I think it's advantage.
I know if they're paralyzed,
No.
it's a critical. It's an auto crit.
Automatically fails strength, dexterity saving throws, attacks rolled against the creature at advantage.
Didn't mean that.
Attack that hits the creature is a critical hit if the attacker is within 5 feet of the creature.
Yeah, if
Okay.
you attack it by being
So
close to
it's
it, it's a
both.
critical hit.
Advantage and auto crit.
Yeah, it's advantage
So it's
and
both.
auto crit.
Well, fuck me, they both failed.
So
Very-
they're both.
Very best.
Both of the assassins, one with a crossbow bolt aimed directly at you, Slava, just suddenly stiffens, and the other one with the
That's
two
pretty
short
clutch.
swords out, aimed at Apollo, ready to do sort of a pincer move, just freezes, stock still. Way to fuck up my day, Alfred. You are up.
Hey.
Unless you wanted to move, Slava. Sorry.
No. I'm happy where I am.
Good. Azazel or not? Alfred.
First, I'll bonus action Bear Spirit Totem. It's a 30-foot radius, so
Okay, just put a
60
square, put a
diameter.
circle or something wherever you want it to
basically
be.
anyone from right in front of me.
Okay.
You get 10 temporary hit points.
Oh.
To all of us and anyone aiding us in this fight.
Okay, I'm just gonna
Jeez,
move
where's
her.
this totem going?
It is going right here. Oh, never mind. Oh, that's the wrong fucking button. I'm sorry. Yeah,
That's where
thank
it
you.
originates from, but
Perfect. Okay, so everybody has 10 hit points.
us and anyone that's helping us, yeah.
So can I just add the temporary hit points to my hit point total, or do I need to be more complicated than that?
They're temporary hit points, so you can't just add them to your total. They're more complicated than that. But if in this case, in this fight, I would just allow it. Just add it to what you have. Just don't add it to your max. There is a piece on your character sheet for temporary hit points.
Your current hit points you can increase.
Yeah, it should be right underneath.
Oh, below.
Oh. 37, 10. Done. Perfect. I'm awesome.
And Devin, your aid, is that temporary hit points or does that increase our maximum?
That increases your maximum.
Yeah.
Temporarily.
So they work in conjunction. They don't overlap and cancel out.
Yeah.
And after that, I'll look that farmer dead in the eye and say, prepare to see your first miracle of the night, and I will wild shape into a black bear.
Okay.
Ooh, get out the big guns.
Technically, you can't say anything to him because you already used the bonus action.
It's a minor
No,
action.
that's a free.
It's
a free
short
action.
enough, I allow it. If it's short enough, I allow it.
Let's be honest, I mean black bears are the most cuddly of all the bears.
Yeah, that's your free action.
Oh, you already dragged him in? Okay, perfect. Sorry.
Yeah. Do you want to roll hit points or do you want
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, okay, I'll just...
Fuck. Why do you spit it out, bud?
There we go. Okay. Just to take your...
guess
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I'll run up here to kind of protect Apollo, but it's a full action for me to shape, so I can't do anything else.
Yeah. But you can do that, which is smart. Because that's where the veteran was going. So he is going to attack your bear self. Your fursona, if you wish. And he's going to absolutely fucking fail. Because he rolls like dog shit. What is this guy going to do? He would have to leap over the table to get anywhere super close. So he is 25, 30. Yeah, he can just make it. So he sees you cast a spell, and he's like, he's a veteran of the war. He's seen enough. He goes right for the fucking spellcaster.
Sorry, which one?
The veteran that I just moved towards you.
Oh, this guy right here, okay.
He hits with both longswords attacks. The first one does 7 slashing damage. The next one does 8 slashing damage.
What, do I not even get to put a spell save? I mean, is there not like an AC check?
Yep, I did the check. Yeah, that he hit you with, well, your AC is 16. And he rolled a 16 and a 24. I just read your AC instead of...
But I also have a shield.
Oh, okay. Apologies.
That
you're right.
I'm going to toss up to increase my AC to +5.
Which is...
So it's 21 now.
So the first attack misses. The second attack was a 24. It still hits. It does 8 slashing damage.
Okay.
Roll,
is hold person concentration?
Yes, it is. I was just going to say, roll me a concentration check.
Do you have that feat for advantage?
He does not.
Sorry, what do I roll for concentration? I forget.
Constitution.
Just the Constitution save, right?
Just the Constitution saving throw, which I think you have as a saving throw, so make sure you click it as a saving throw. That saves. Just had to beat a 10. Ander, you are up.
I got an angry baby, so you're going to have to bear with me. Okay, so I'm gonna move up here and attack.
Okay. It auto crits, so we'll just double whatever dice you roll, double the damage.
And advantage.
And advantage.
I'll just roll twice then.
It auto crits, so you don't need to roll twice, but okay.
Oh yeah. Oh my.
So what's this?
Yeah.
What's the second D10?
It's my lollipop.
Don't know. I
So-
have no fucking idea why
so
it's doing that. I have no idea why it's doing
Okay.
any of that.
It's fine. It's fine. The first one you did 5 damage. The second one you did 9. So we'll double both of those. So it's 18
No,
plus.
okay, sorry. I wanted to do a different action for a second attack. I want to shove him.
Can you shove as an attack? Yeah.
Yeah, because my shield master.
Okay. So the first attack does 10 damage.
Okay. I was gonna do a. If it hits, I was gonna do a smite as well.
Okay. Well, then do that smite.
Okay. So it's 2d8. 2d8 radiant.
Yep.
Oh, fuck's sakes.
2d8, right? That's just one.
Yep.
So 9. Because divine smite is a damage die roll. It also doubles on a crit. So you are looking at 10. So exactly what you rolled. 28 damage.
28 damage. Okay, cool. And then so he's pushed back 5 feet.
Okay. Nice. So he gets pushed back.
And then I'm gonna attack
is a strength
5
saving
feet.
throw, isn't it?
But he automatically fails because he's bound.
You're absolutely right. He does.
Paralyzed, you
then
get shoved,
I'm
would
gonna
you just
cast-
fall flat on your back?
And wouldn't Apollo then get a opportunity of attack?
He hasn't left. He technically
No, he's
hasn't.
still within 5
Still
feet.
within 5
He's still
feet.
within 5 feet.
I will say he is. Yes, I will say he's prone, as well.
Okay.
So, do you want me to describe this, or
Is he okay?
he's not dead? He's not dead. But I was just going to give you some flavor. But you can do whatever you want
Yeah,
to do.
no, give her.
So you whip out your shield and imbue your sword with holy light, and this assassin, you can see his eyes move with it as you slash downward right across the chest, just like cauterizing the wound as you cut it. And as you do this, you kind of go, shields aren't for weaklings, and slam into him with your shield, and he falls down like a marionette with its strings cut. Just.
And then for my bonus, I'm going to cast Sanctuary. So I'm going to message whoever's going to get it.
Okay, sure, that's totally fine. And that's your turn.
And that's my turn. Oh, and I'm going to also yell at what's her name to move.
Dessa?
Yeah. I'm just going to say move.
Okay.
Bitch, get out the way.
It is Volgo's turn. Seeing what is happening, he's going to run up beside this veteran. He's emboldened by the bear spirit. You can see it's sort of like ghostly shadow above him. And he is going to rip shitters on this guy's face. He is going to use... he's going to use... So he needs to attack. Where is his attack? He's going to take out his Warhammer. He's going to slam it into the guy. It hits a 23. That does 9 damage. He is going to use an ability called Disarming Strike. As he hits down with his hammer one way, he reverses its grip, hits it the other way, and the longsword falls out of the veteran's hands.
No more moaning like that.
And you know what? That's a pretty good turn. He's gonna leave it like that. Yeah. Wulrash, you are up, sir.
Which one of these guys shot me with the crossbow?
The one that's currently
Wulrash,
fighting.
make sure and use my spell that I gave you.
Oh yeah.
Spell.
You gain 4 hit points because I believe that's what.
No, it's a 1d6.
It's 1d6. Okay, so roll 1d6, Wulrash.
What are you playing, Daddy?
Dungeons and
Okay.
Dragons.
So I gain 4 health.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay,
Philo.
cool. So can you ping which guy was the one who shot me?
The one that's very far away.
Me over here.
There is a guy behind you. There's also this guy that is beside Dessa right now. This gentleman right here.
This is the guy that shot.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to just enrage and straight up charge that guy because it
Okay.
doesn't look like there's any enemies behind him.
You're gonna have to make an athletics check to jump over the table.
This is what Mum fell in love
Oh,
with.
that guy. Oh, that guy. Then you can just rush forward.
Yeah. So I'm going to rush forward to this position. I'm going to rage.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
and
Okay.
This is the guy that shot me, right?
Yeah, you will have to make an athletics check, but you have advantage because you're rolling. It's a strength check, I believe.
Yeah, I give them strength advantage.
Athletics.
Athletics, yeah. So you roll athletics twice. Well,
Natural 20.
Yeah, that solves that. Yes.
So I'm going to charge him while I'm raging. I'm going to charge him while bellowing out, "How dare you attack me in the presence of a lady?" And then I'm going to use my warhammer to attack him with the intent of adding his face to the rafters.
Okay. Uppercut it is.
My goblin friend. He's my buddy.
Whoops, that was his advantage. My bad.
No, it is advantage. He's
My
frozen.
friend, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I hit him with a 17 is my best.
And
That hits.
Fighting?
Advantage and critical.
And critical.
So what does critical do for
It just means that you do 10 damage instead of 5. Well, just.
Oh, okay.
It doubles your damage.
Oh, sweet. Well, good thing I rolled a 1. So I hit him for 10 then.
You hit it for 10. That's still a good amount of damage.
Dragonborn guy.
And I'm also enraged now.
And you're also enraged now.
Shit. So that means I should hit him for an extra 2? Which
Yes.
would be
Yeah.
4 then?
Which would be
Doubles?
7, so 14.
Okay.
Oh, okay, actually.
And that's all I got.
Okay.
Right here.
It is the lizard folk's turn. He is very angry that the assassin is attacking his new friends. So he's actually going. You know what? He's gonna attack. That's what he's gonna do. He has a spear, and he's gonna try it out. Or no, actually he doesn't have a spear. He has a javelin. He's gonna back up to right here. You know what? He's actually gonna back up to right here, and he's gonna try and hit this dude. Rolls an 18, which is this guy's armor class. So he does a total of 7 piercing damage.
Nice.
You guys made friends. Now it is the assassin's turn. What is
He also gets something. Just let me look at my food. I just deleted it. High jerky. He's resistant to poison damage for 4 hours,
Okay, sweet.
and he gets a +1 Constitution saving throw.
Cool beans. Cool beans. I'll keep that in mind. So for hold person, do they roll a wisdom save at the end of their turn?
At the end of their turns, yeah.
Okay. Well, he can't do anything until he rolls it, so he's going to roll that save now. He rolls a 15. What's your spell save?
15.
So he is back up.
Is he back up or is he just not paralyzed?
He's just not paralyzed. He has to use his movement to stand up.
Take that to win.
Or no, it's the end of their turn, so he's still prone. You're right.
Yeah.
You're still prone. This guy is still prone. Okay. That assassin's turn. This assassin is going to move right here.
Wait, he didn't do a spell check?
Oh, you're right. You're so right. Sorry. He has to do a spell check. I forgot. My bad.
That's Andrew Kelden.
His wisdom save is 9. He cannot move. This guy is going to... What's he going to do? He looks around and sees that his comrades are having trouble. He is going to move behind the table. And he is going to... with half cover... You know what? I'm just going to roll a d4. We'll see who he hits. He is going to
Surge in
attack
2 weeks.
the bear form of Ashrock. He's going to do that with his crossbow bolt.
You're shooting at who?
Ashrock.
At me.
And he
Who
has
is shooting though?
the southernmost assassin.
Okay.
So he has advantage because you are beside someone, but one of them, yeah. Okay, so he rolls an 11, which is just your armor class, correct?
Yeah, 11.
Roll a Constitution saving throw.
No, he was. No, he didn't. He didn't eat at all. I gave him crackers and applesauce.
Does it work
And,
on that sheet?
no.
Nat
Nat
20.
20.
Nat 20. So you take
He didn't even
4 points of regular damage and 13 points of other damage. 13 points of poison damage. So you take a
So
total of
17.
17 points of damage.
Good bear.
And that's the assassin's turn. Apollo, you are up. Oh, no, sorry. He's going to move to this table, behind this table, and take cover behind it. Okay, Apollo, you're up.
This guy's low on health, right? Or is he dead, or what? Okay, you're...
Nobody has died.
Okay.
This guy is currently prone. This guy right here is currently prone, so he's laying on the ground. So any
Laying or prone?
prone, so any melee attacks have advantage, but ranged attacks have disadvantage.
I'm gonna cast Cure Winds.
Okay. Yeah, Rangers get that with the new edition.
Did you change anything, Ryan, with the new
Yeah, I
the new
changed a
Ranger
lot
stuff?
of stuff. Yeah.
Did you? Okay.
He's been learning
against
from
his knee.
I forget their name, but the
That YouTube, those YouTubers.
oh
Or
no,
whatever?
I meant like in narration in game.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna touch Alfred for Cure Winds.
Okay, Alfred, you gain 6 points of health.
It's 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier.
Well, it already
Yeah,
rolled
it
it. It rolled it for you there.
Oh, I did? Okay.
Yeah, 1d8
Perfect.
plus 3. Yeah.
Okay. I'm So that's one action. As a bonus action, I'm gonna. Oh shit! This should be a bonus. Yeah, so this is gonna be a bonus action. I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark. Did
Okay.
that come up? Nope.
Yep. Oh no,
Did
it didn't.
show?
It didn't show. I
Yeah.
thought it did.
Okay, why is that not coming up for some reason?
Try casting.
Is that?
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna cast out on this guy here.
Okay.
Can I punch him?
Your
would you want to?
your cure wounds was an action, so no.
Well, no, my cure wounds is an action. I get 2 actions and a bonus.
Don't
action.
get 2 actions, just get 2 attacks. So
2
you can
attacks, okay.
2 attacks, yeah. So the 2 attacks count combined as 1 action, but the spell is
Okay.
just 1 action.
Okay, so I've only used 1 action and 1 bonus action right now, right?
Yeah, so all you have is
No,
your
it's
movement.
like if you choose an attack action, you are locked into attacks. Think of it like you swing and then you can do a backswing, right? But if you choose to do something else, you can't also swing.
Oh, so if you do like a spell, you can't then attack?
Correct.
Correct. Yes.
Because you're
Unless it's
using
a bonus
like
action.
there's a difference
Unless
between
your
an
spell's a
attack.
bonus.
There's a difference between an
Yeah.
attack and an action. When you leveled up, you gained the action to be able to use 1 action to do 2 attacks or whatever else you wanted to do, but it's still 1 action.
Okay.
That's the equivalent, Ryan, of the increased damage for cantrips. That's how it's balanced. Is as a martial, you just get more attack as you go.
Okay, so basically,
Right.
as soon as you do an action spell, you can't then attack.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah, you either you
Unless it's a
spellcast.
bonus attack.
Yeah, you see this. You spellcast, or you.
Okay. Okay. Change things a little bit. Just bonus action.
Did the other music not play? It
Okay,
not
tell you
play?
what, then instead of casting Hunter's Mark, I'm going to.
Oh, it's a concentration spell. I didn't realize it was a concentration spell.
What's that?
Hunter's Mark.
Yeah, it is.
So Azazel, you're going to be up right away.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it is still based on. Okay, I'm gonna just use Hunter's Mark then.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm gonna put it on this guy here.
Oh, that guy over there.
Yep.
So what does the skull and crossbones mean?
I was trying to find the right one for Hunter's Mark, and I forgot it. Oh, there we go. There it is. The target. That's Hunter's Mark.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Okay. Lady Valentina's turn. She's still hiding. The bartender and the barmaid are now taking cover in the kitchen with Hilda. And these guys are... This woman is going to take her chance, and she's going to run out the door. These guys are going to run down the street. And this woman is going to start shouting for the guards. Dessa's turn. She hears your shout, and she looks behind you. She sees you. She's going to move out of the way, like you said, and she's going to attack again.
Hunter's Mark and paralyzed.
Give it to me.
So that person is paralyzed, so
Ball.
it does
Take your bow. Give it to me.
his advantage. Second one hits.
Give it to me.
That does 14 damage to him. Oh my god.
Did you add the extra 1d6 doubled for crit?
Yep, I just
'Cause he's
doubled. I just
still-
doubled the damage.
Okay.
I just doubled the damage. That's what I've been doing.
Did the math in your head?
Yeah. She's gonna attack again. Rolls a 24. 9 times 2 is 18. Jesus Christ.
What kind of health pools do these motherfuckers have?
Well, they had significant ones.
Had
Azazel, you are up.
There's one we haven't touched at all. Or is he running? one down
He's
there.
near the door.
Is
The
he just
one down there?
hooking it?
Yeah.
He's
He's
running
he took cover behind that table, so he's got an extra bit
Oh.
punch to his AC.
Because the lizard man speared him, javelined him.
No, he javelined this guy up here.
Oh.
Oh, it was that guy.
Yeah.
So he threw the javelin over everyone's head?
Yeah, that's how we've been playing it with arrows and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
Okay.
I am going to.
unless you specifically say I hide or I take cover.
All
I'm
good.
gonna disengage from this guy,
Okay.
and with my movement, I'm gonna hop the bar.
Okay. Do you roll me an athletics check?
Wait for a natural one, and Azazel just falls in his ass.
Loses concentration on the spell.
Yeah, that's
Oh, there
fine.
we go.
That's fine. It was like a DC of 10. It was, jump over the bar.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so disengage, jump over the bar, and I I use the bar as also cover.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I'll give you half cover with that, which is a +5 to AC.
And then I tell the bartender, it's like, I'll protect you.
Okay.
And I run in the back.
Okay.
That's my turn.
Okay. Ashrock.
Okay, Bear Me is going to tear into this guy on the ground. First, I'll hit him with a claw attack.
Okay, so you have advantage. 22 hits.
Yeah, do we have a symbol for prone?
I believe I didn't leave that on there.
And that's
Oh, what's one for
Luna.
what's one for held for paralyzed?
I was
Yeah.
using the same one
No.
as I was using for prone, honestly.
Okay.
So that does 5
thinking.
slashing damage.
doubled for a crit?
It's not a crit because he's prone, not
he's
paralyzed.
Oh, okay. Right. And then I'll bite into him after that.
Sounds
Oh.
good.
That's
So
Hey,
hey
advantage.
Liam, use
13
that one.
13 does
That I
not hit.
just
13 doesn't.
see that one there. Or no, that's Aura. Never mind. That one.
Okay. 13 does not hit.
Okay.
So you slashed him, you bit him.
And as a bear, that's about all I'm going to be doing.
I believe it is. You're still tough, though. So it's the veteran's turn. He is going to make 2 slashing attacks back at you because you're frickin' clawing him. So he is going to...
Oh wait, who did you attack? The veteran or the guy on the ground?
Yeah, on the ground. It's,
Oh yeah. Sorry, you didn't bite him. My apologies. But you bit his friend, and he's going to attack you.
that 13 still missed the guy on the ground, though, the assassin. Right?
Yeah, the 13 misses him. Yeah. You take 6 slashing damage. He rolled a 16. And then he's going to attack again. It was a 17. So you take a total of 17 damage.
13, oh. You see me pop back into elf form.
And don't forget that you still take the excess damage. So it's 9 minus.
Yeah, there's 9 rolled over.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's just
Uh,
my temporary points. Deal.
This guy is going to pull out, since he had to drop his longsword, he's going to pull out his crossbow. And he's going to attack Wulrash at disadvantage. Because there's a
That sounds
guy
like a dick.
right in front of him. The 12 does not hit, so he does not hit. He goes, "This was supposed to be easy." Ander, you are up.
All right. Is this guy still prone?
He is still prone.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Yes, because it's at the end of his turn. Yeah, he's still prone.
Okay. So he hasn't even. Oh yeah. Okay. Coolio. I think we're gonna hit. We're gonna hit, and we're gonna smite again.
You can decide after you attack and after you successfully hit.
Okay.
Don't forget. That's the one big thing about smite is you don't have to declare it beforehand.
Oh, I forgot to put
What about
advantage
this?
on it.
Yeah, so just roll it again. Both of those miss. I'm
Okay.
assuming you don't use your smite then.
No.
Okay, try to remember that. Sounds good. Like what
And
else?
then for my bonus, probably can't shove him again, can I? Oh fuck it. I shouldn't have done any of that. Never mind.
Okay.
Oh well. And for my bonus, I am going to cast Shield of Faith on Wulrash.
Isn't that a concentration?
Yep, but Sanctuary is not.
Okay, so I stand corrected. Sounds good. Wulrash, you get an extra bonus to AC. This dwarf has had just about a fuck enough of this. He is going to drop his shield and attack with the Warhammer. That rolls an 11. That misses, unfortunately. But he's going to action surge. And he's going to do it all over again. Also does not hit. Dwarf is not having a good time for rolls right now. So that's all he can do with his turn. Wulrash, you are up. You have a +2 to your AC right now, don't forget.
And the guy who originally shot me is directly beside me still?
He is within 5 feet of you, yes.
Okay. Well, I didn't succeed in putting his face into the rafters, so I'm going to attempt to put his face into the floor this time.
Okay, so you have advantage, and you will crit.
Okay, so rolling my Warhammer attack with advantage.
And you're plus 1d6.
What's the +1d6?
The hunter's mark?
Thank you, dear.
Hunter's marks for me.
It's just
Oh, only for you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's only for
no.
my attacks.
15 does barely hits, but it hits.
So now I'm going to... Oh crap, is there not an option to check off for rage here? Warhammer... Okay, well, I'll add 2. Yeah, I gotta add 2 to the rage. So hit him with my Warhammer. Hit him for 11 raging.
11 with raging. So that...
That'd be 22.
You take your Warhammer and just over the table, you can see how he's kind of ducking behind it, trying to avoid it. You two-handed slam into him, and you crush his skull into the floor, and it explodes in a pile of gore and red blood, just sort of gushing and then slowly oozing out.
As intended. Who is the next closest enemy of mine?
That guy right there.
Cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and get a little closer to him and definitely make eye contact.
Yeah, okay.
I've done my attack, I've done my move. That's really all I've got. So
don't you have 2 attacks?
Oh, shit, because I'm a barbarian. I'm passive 5. I forgot about that. Can I move an attack?
Yep. You can
Yep.
move. You can move between attacks. That is the
You
benefit.
also
of
have
double motion.
your specials. Don't forget, Steve. You can cause fear, which will make him run away.
No, I'm just gonna shut out next and then swing at this guy with my warhammer as well. I try to drive his head through the floor into the basement as well.
You do not have advantage.
Normal warhammer.
Holy shit! You didn't need it.
That'll do, I think. That'll do, Pig. That'll do.
Yeah, that hits.
So 9 damage with the enraging, or sorry, with the rage.
God,
Goes
I gotta show you these macros to
Oh,
make your life so much
Sorry,
easier,
Steve. Can you? I accidentally -9'd off your HP. Can you +9 your HP? Sorry, misclick. Lizard Folk is just gonna throw that fucking javelin again, because that's his whole deal. And he drops it on his foot. And he does 3 piercing damage to himself. He screams in agony. So... Oh, shit! Well, that's okay. That's a DM bad. Fine.
What?
No, I just forgot that they had an ability that have damage sometime. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Sorry?
Wouldn't matter. They're still dead.
That one
the
would
other
still
one's
be dead. Yes. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. I didn't say that out loud.
I love them DM fails.
Oh no, it's only certain conditions, so never mind. Not as big of a fail as I originally thought. Okay. So this guy's dead. This guy stands up and he is going to disengage as his action.
Over the fucking table?
He's going to roll an athletics check for it, which he has a +0 to, so let's see how that works out for him. He fails. He falls over the table, the side he wants to fall over, but he is prone again.
Poor guy.
Fantastic.
This guy runs out the door and continues running. You guys hear pounding... How far can he move? He can move 60 feet, so he's over here. You guys hear pounding footfalls and bashing of shields, and you know the guards are coming. I had this really cool escape planned, but that's okay. Apollo, you are currently up, sir.
Nice. What is the southern one has been hit, right?
Which, can you hold your mouse over the guy? Yeah, that guy's been hit. Yep.
Where did he go actually?
The southernmost guy ran away.
I ran away. So there's one.
What
guys we got left there?
3.
Guy here.
Yeah.
3.
1, 2,
And there's the other guy.
3.
Okay. Oh, I see. Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna use my bonus action to move. The hunter's mark onto this guy.
Okay. Oh my god, you guys. Please pick one.
And then I'm going to use my bow.
Finally. Finally able to. I will revoke your writing privileges. I can do that with the add-on I have.
So I guess it would be
Which one are you hitting?
Stop it.
This guy here.
Uh, 19 hits.
Okay, so it's 10 damage.
Okay.
And then, God, they were shit rolls. I guess I'll fire another one.
Uh, 14 does not hit.
Can I have some tips, son?
Is that your turn, Ryan?
My turn done? Yep.
Can I have
Cool,
some
okay.
tips?
Done.
Chris?
You hear the bartender shout that I ain't never seen a bar fight like this, and Dessa is going to join you behind the bar, Azazel. You can see that she is basically, she's got both her short swords out and her back is to you. She's basically focused on protecting you solely. It is now your turn.
Okay. It worked so well last time that I am going to double hold person again.
Okay, so one question about whole person. You know that you can cast it at a higher level.
I know.
Okay, just checking. No
You're
worries.
right. You know what? Honestly, you're right. I should just do that.
I'm just checking if you knew it or not.
At first, I thought that we were only fighting 3 people, so that's why I just.
Yeah, me too. I didn't realize there was other people in the fight either.
Yeah.
All good.
Because then I was like, oh well, if I quadruple it, that's just a waste. Yeah.
Oh, so you can twin it and amplify it?
Yeah. So I could hold like.
Oh man.
4 people, which would have been ideal in the beginning. You know what? Let's just do that. I'll cast it at a 3rd level, and I'll twin it so I can hold all 3. And I'll double cast it on. I have 1 person. I don't know. Can I do that?
You can't double cast it. That's not how that works. But
what's the range on it? Can you reach this guy? Because you might be able to see.
You can't.
You can see him through the window.
You cannot. I'm gonna say right now, you cannot see this man. He ran out and ducked into the first place he see. You cannot see this man.
Ah.
Okay, so let's do some.
So 1, 2, 3, right? Hold person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. No one else is.
No, you don't see anyone else that is an enemy. So
Okay.
First assassin. Wisdom save of 8, so he's not moving. Second, the veteran. Wisdom save of 12. He's also not moving. Jesus Christ. Wisdom save. Remember how I was just talking to you, Devin, about how powerful Hold Person was? Wisdom save of 3.
Nice. Very nice.
Ashrock.
Okay, these veterans, you said they were wearing some sort of metal armor, right?
Certainly.
Okay, I'm gonna cast heat metal on the one in front of me.
Oh, that's cruel, but yes. Okay, go ahead.
I assume he can't drop it while he's paralyzed.
He can't do jack shit.
So DC
It takes 10
15
minutes to
con
take the
save,
armor
though.
off.
Yeah, I don't know if he has disadvantage on the con save.
I think it was strength and dexterity I read, but
Yeah. It doesn't matter because he rolls a 12 and your DC is 15. So he takes the full 12 damage, and then it's...
and then he has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks while he's wearing the hot piece of metal.
Okay, I'm just going to put a skull and crossbones, and I'm going to ask you what he has disadvantage on if he has to roll anything, okay?
Okay.
Wait, did you double the damage?
Oh,
no, it's a
it's
spell, so I don't think it would it?
only spell attacks, not saving throws.
Yeah.
Spell attacks, it does double damage if they're paralyzed. Saving throws, it just usually automatically hits because they automatically fail the saving throw. So if you were to firebolt him, it would do double damage. That's that guy. He's going to roll another...
Well, it says any attack that hits.
Any attack. A spell attack
Yeah,
is
it
an
wasn't
attack.
a spell attack. It was
It's
It's a
just
spell. Spell that requires a saving throw is not a spell attack.
Okay.
Yep, no worries.
Oh, really?
Yep. That's why they do more damage. He's going to roll a wisdom save. 12. Misses again. Because your DC is 15, right, Slava?
Yeah.
This guy's going to roll a save. 17. He escapes. For the moment. But that's all he can do. Ander, it is your turn.
So you said, okay, so for the ones that are held, you said so direct damage spells, it's doubled, but not spell saves.
Anything that requires an attack roll, it's doubled. So your Divine Smite requires an attack roll, therefore it and the attack is doubled. If you were held something like Fireball, they would automatically fail to save, so they would not be able to reduce the damage, but they would just take the full damage. They wouldn't double it. Otherwise, you'd have people doing 120 damage with fireballs on one hit.
Fair enough. Okay.
Well,
I'm going to jump on the table, I guess.
Okay. Athletics check, please.
Oh, sure.
Yep,
I'm
you're
assuming
good.
that's good.
Yep.
Okay. And then I'm going to stab some motherfuckers. So, which one?
Guilty as ass.
Okay. This guy here, can I hit him? Or is he, like, prone all the way on the ground? Are they both prone, or just... Are they both paralyzed, or what's the situation?
This guy is prone, and this guy is paralyzed.
Okay.
Is he prone
so
and
this
paralyzed, though?
No.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. I apologize. Yep, he is. They're both paralyzed. This one is also prone.
But the paralyzed, like, it doesn't... Functionally, it doesn't matter, right? Like,
Functionally, it doesn't
you
matter.
Still get him.
You're functionally, they're both paralyzed. You're going to auto-crit on both of them and have advantage to attack on both of them.
All right. Let's do it. I'm going to attack the...
So the veteran is to the
one
south. The assassin is to the west.
Well, I'll attack the assassin.
Okay. That hits.
So, okay. It looks like it's auto rolling damage for me. I don't know why, but it is.
It's a setting that
looks
you should be able to turn off on your character sheet, but that's fine. So 2d8 for the so I understand the 7 is your weapon attack. The 2d8 is
so
your...
the 8 is because it's versatile. It does both.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so 18 damage times 2. How do you want to do this?
So jumping up on the table, I pull back my sword, imbuing it with holy power, using my spell using my shield as a focus. I imbue my sword with divine power, and I cut its fucking head off. And it like pops. It like flows up in the air, and you can kind of like see the surprise in his face, and it hits the ground.
Beautiful.
And I got another one.
Yep, go for it.
So how many? We got 2 slots left. Okay.
Whoa.
I'm gonna use my bonus to do a thunderous smite.
I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if you can break up. You know what?
Yeah,
Fuck
I
it.
think so.
I don't know if you can, but I'm gonna allow it for now, for sake of gameplay. I don't know if you can break up an attack with a bonus action, but I'll leave it. We'll look at it later. Doesn't matter.
Like a bonus action in between an action, you mean?
A bonus action in between your two attacks. Yeah. You can move between your two attacks, but anyway, doesn't matter. We're gonna go with it for now. We'll look it up later.
Well, that shouldn't be hard to find out.
So please hit. It's a lot of fucking dice. So nat 20. Yeah. So I'm seeing 23 plus 8 plus 5, 23 plus 28, 34 damage before we start doubling things.
So you can't double crit. You can only crit once on something.
Watch
so
me.
You crit. Your crit is just the. Are you smiting again? Do you have that many smites?
Yep.
Okay, so it's 13
all
plus,
my slots.
Plus, so that's 23.
So 13 plus
23, because it's already doubled.
Yeah, 23 plus 13, 36.
Yep.
36, and then. So which ones?
So this guy, if he wasn't
did it double everything?
It already did
automatically. Did
yeah, natural. When you roll a natural 20, it automatically doubles everything.
Okay.
A stack. Come.
So
still pretty good.
Still very good.
Go back. Go back.
Yeah. Okay.
Go back that way.
If he could sink to his knees, he would, but he can't. So he just looks terrified as you freaking cleave part of his shoulder apart. It's like barely hanging in there. He starts to bleed profusely.
Does the hot metal armor cauterize the wound?
Yes, it does a bit. In fact, correct. But it doesn't cauterize the wound fully because it can't. So
also,
it's just burning him, and he's being slashed.
Hold on a second. There's probably
Okay, thanks, Apollo. So we'll know for next time.
Okay. Yeah. So it must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed 10 feet away from you and knocked prone. And it can't because it's already paralyzed. So it's going to be pushed. Yeah. Far away.
Okay.
And prone.
Volgo?
Can I smack him on the way by then?
Yes, you can.
Are you sure? Because I thought
once you leave someone's attack field, they get an opportunity attack on you.
Okay. It's not if you willingly leave.
No, it doesn't say willingly anywhere.
Okay.
As far as I'm sure.
Okay.
That looks effective.
Nice.
Oh, and I rolled a 1.
Oh no.
2.
Well, that's still 2 damage.
Absolutely.
He's this cat, guys. He's a caster that can turn into bears. Okay, he is.
I hit him so good, just not very hard.
Yeah. You just really poked him in the perfect nerve center. Just.
You definitely softly caressed him.
You broke his nose. Oh, Wulrash, you are up.
Okay, well, I'm going to, instead of using my Warhammer, I'm going to change things up a little bit. Actually, it's just the one guy in front of me, right? This guy's our friend? Dwarf guy's our friend?
Yeah.
I'm going to use Metallic Dragon Breath. I should be able to use that without negatively impacting anybody around me, right?
Let's see.
I'm only going to hit the guy in front of me, not everybody else.
Yeah, 1 second. Where's the measuring tool?
My thoughts are it kind of like hits this way, right?
Yeah, you would be good because it's 15 feet, and that just misses Slava.
Okay, so I'm going to do that to the guy directly in front of me for one of my attack actions. So it's going to be 8 plus Constitution modifier plus my proficiency bonus, which is going to be 8 plus 3 plus 3, which would then be 14, because math. And I want him to be incapacitated until my next turn.
He's... Oh, yeah. Okay. So can you remind me what that DC was?
14. So if he doesn't succeed on the Constitution saving throw of 14, he's going to be incapacitated until next turn.
He rolls an 18.
Well, then I'm just going to hit him with my halberd anyways.
Is that... Oh, yeah, because you substitute for an attack. Okay, sounds good.
So I get 2 attacks.
You get 1 attack, because your Dragon Breath was an attack.
Well, yes, sorry, 2 attacks, one of which was a Dragon Breath.
Yeah. A 15 does not hit, unfortunately.
Well, that was a whole lot of scary pump-up action for no results.
He's still blatantly terrified of you, though, just because he happened to, like, duck behind his shield and dodge the 1 attack, and, like, your Dragon Breath, he, like, ducked behind his shield, dodged your hammer, and then kind of went like this, and just managed to hit your jaw upward, so the metallic Dragon Breath echoed out of you in sort of this, like, it looks like a smoke, but it echoes like a sound wave, almost like you're, like, propelling smoke rings out of your mouth.
I'll take it.
It's the lizard folk's turn. You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna roll for the lizard folk, because 15 does not hit. Especially because he's prone. Okay, so here's what happens.
Give another man some turkey, he's gonna fight for you. That's the moral of the story here.
I think he just wanted to eat someone, honestly. But either way, it doesn't matter. So here's what you guys see. Nick, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, good. Just making sure. Yep.
What are you working on?
So, hang on. So, as you guys are decapitating one of the would-be assassins and beating the shit out of these veterans, they're both of them are on their knees. One is crouched behind a shield. The other one is trying to basically dry heave without moving. He's just shaking like this. He cannot move. He's prone on the ground. His armor is literally sizzling into his skin, and you could tell he'd be screaming if he could.
He's also deaf. He's also deaf from the thunderous roar, because it was a thunderous.
Yeah, but he's still trying to make noises because he doesn't know that. But anyway, so he's deaf, blind, the whole bit. Guards rush into the tavern. And go, everyone put your weapons down.
I put my hands down.
How many guards? Do I feel like I could take them?
There are about 15 guards. This is a lot. Somewhere between 10 and 15. I'm not putting them all on the map.
I haven't even brought my summons out yet. I could even the playing field.
I mean, like, do these guards give you the impression that I should be worried?
The guards look like they've seen there's 2 decapitated bodies in front of them. Everyone is either hiding under tables or whatever, and the rough customers have run out to find the guards. This is obviously an above the board issue. There's like a man paralyzed, and you can hear his flesh sizzling. And
I'm just throwing out here, like, I've installed this man's head into the basement. Am I still worried about the guards?
Yes. I mean, there's 15 of them.
All right, fine.
And more could come. So if you want to start a fight with the entire town, be my guest.
The city, I think.
City,
I think it's a
excuse me.
city.
It is a city.
I'm going to look at Lady Valentina and ask her, do you think we can trust these guards? And then I'll take her cue.
She stands up and says, "Please, everyone calm down, for my sake." So, I'm assuming Steve puts his weapon down. The rest of you put your weapons down, correct? Yes? No?
Yeah.
I sheathe my sword.
Yeah. Sheath it, Ryan? Okay, sorry, I just couldn't hear you there.
And I also jump down from the table and walk towards this guy.
The guard points at you and says, "Do not move. Trayvon, where are you?" And Trayvon comes looking kind of shamefaced out from behind his kitchen and goes, "I ain't never seen nothing like it. These newcomers came and just, they opened fire. They opened fire in my bar. We have our brawls, but my God." And then Trayvon like points to you guys and goes, "I know they got blood on them, but they're all right. They're all right. They responded to a crossbow bolt. I think that's more than fair." Conveniently forgetting that Ryan threw a bottle. But still.
Well, they called my lizard friend less than human. I wasn't very happy with that comment.
More than fair.
I punch Apollo and in the ribs to get him to shut up.
The guards don't hear that. They just see you punch them and they're like, look at you. And everyone calm down. So they walk up to Trayvon and you see the dwarf sort of just takes a cloth and starts from the bar and just starts wiping his hands off. And you see him kind of say, "Wish I had my boys for this. Wish I had my boys for this one. Too bad they're upstairs making themselves comfortable." The guards interview Trayvon for a while and ask him like what went on while you guys are just kind of standing around. Some of the guards go to interview Trayvon. He points out the remainder of the two veterans who are still alive, I believe, and then says like, "I think one of them ran off." And the guard nods to three other guards and says, "Go find him." And they go up to Trayvon walks up and kind of points to both of the veterans, which are these guys right here, and says, "It was their fault, honestly. It seemed like they were just egging them on, and then all of a sudden, like they wanted to fight, like that's why they were here. All of a sudden, they pulled crossbows out and started firing." What do you do, Slava?
I clean up the who's that comedian Gallagher with the watermelons? Smashes the watermelons.
Yeah.
I clean up the blood smears to the watermelon heads.
The guard beside you starts to draw his sword, and then he sees you're just pointing, basically doing this around the blood smear and sort of like grouping it together and kind of pushing it back. It looks like you're almost pushing it back into the body, and he just goes, "Oh, could you wait till our investigation is done with for whatever you're doing, please?" So one of the guards, so the guards kind of part a little bit, and a half-elf woman walks up to him, long blonde hair, leather armor, and a broadsword on her back, and she goes, "Trayvon, what happened here?" And Trayvon starts to explain. Meanwhile, you guys kind of take your seats. It's pretty clear that the guards are beside you guys, but they have their spear tips pointed at the veterans, given what Trayvon said. Good job making friends with the bartender.
Where's Hilda?
Hilda's still in the kitchen with the barmaids. You haven't even met her yet.
I'm gotta make sure that Lady Valentina is okay and that her and her brother are safe.
And the guard just looks at you and says, "I gotta come with. You're not leaving, are you?" So he comes with you. You talk to Lady Valentina. She says, "That was something else." Okay. What do you guys say to the captain of the guard? She's got all of you kind of gathered here by this guard at this point. So, actually, you know what?
I'm gonna look directly at the captain of the guard and be like, maybe you could show up before I get shot with the poison crossbow next time. If you're not too busy doing whatever it is you're doing, not being useful.
I put my hands on Wulrash and heal him to full health so that he shuts up for a second. We don't anger the captain of the guard.
She glares at you and she says, "You're lucky Trayvon vouched for you. And he doesn't seem to want to pursue charges of damage. They didn't seem to light fire to the inn or anything. They just attacked you. How do I know it's not your business that brought them here? What did you do to start all this?"
Well, our business is with the cult of Tiamat. That's why we're here. That's why we're...
She just looks at you and
goes
this
like, caravan.
"I know nothing of cults. Why are you in this bar? Why was there crossbow bolts flying? Why is there brains all over my lovely bar, this bar that I like to frequent?"
A doomsday cult that wants to burn the entire world knows that we know who they are. They're in this town. They're in this city. They're just over the hill. We came here to find possible allies, friends, to help us deal with them. Maybe even the Order of the Gauntlet or the Harpers, who we are affiliated. But before we could even have our steak dinner, which I'm assuming Hilda is working on in the back still, they attacked us. They shot my friend here. I pulled a crossbow bolt out of Wulrash's back because he was shot in the back, no less. And I suspect, and if you allow our mage to cast what spells he has, he can cast Zone of Truth on this one right here, and he'll tell you why they attacked. Because they were goading us the entire time. I guarantee it. I guarantee that they were hired by the cultists. And truly, the manpower that you have here, we could assist you, and we could go arrest them right now.
She looks at you and she says, "It's quite the volley of charges. I have heard of the Order of the Gauntlet. I know not of Harpers, other than the traveling minstrels. Those are quite the bevy of charges that you've laid at my feet."
How many dragons have you fought?
Whoa, why is it a dragon thing here? Racist?
None.
Well, we have. We were in Green Nest. We fought. We fought the cult.
I don't need
Tiamat.
to hear
They
you
have
bragging.
a black dragon.
I don't need to hear about you bragging. I really don't, and I'm honestly not very interested. I just wanted the story of what happened here. This town is my responsibility.
Who's talking right now?
The captain of the guard.
Where is he?
I don't have a token for her. I will...
Ooh.
That is the captain of the guard for this. I thought you guys were kind of around her, but that's why I placed her right here. But
this town is ordained by the corpse of a dragon, is it not? I would say any cult that ordains with dragons would be your business, would it not?
If you haven't noticed, the dragon is long gone, as are our wars.
Can I point to Lady Valentina and say, this town can't even offer a lady a safe place to drink? Who are you to call yourself the captain of the guard and come in here and not hang your head in shame?
And she looks at you and says, bar fights are common. This is something extra. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, and some miscreants who came in from some caravan, some trading caravan that I've never heard of, won't stop shouting in my face. If you do not calm down and sit down, I will put you in a jail cell tonight.
I walk up to him and I say I have one piece of jerky left. Would you like to eat it? Because I think he's hungry.
She looks at you and says,
Eat the jerky and sit down.
if this is a joke, it's not funny. No, thank you.
I am not joking. I spent a long time making this.
I'm very happy for you. I'm not interested.
Well, I'm
This
not
interaction-
interested in anything
Too
you
many
have to
people,
say,
too many
so I'm
people.
going to go to the bar and drink. And you guys can discuss all this politics. And I go to the bar and get a drink.
I'm interested.
This
Can I have jerky?
Trayvon,
count
Trayvon,
as us fighting her, or is it just talking?
you're just talking.
I could charm her.
You can certainly try,
No.
but she'll know.
I
I was just gonna ask: has your
have something to say.
mend metal? Did you cease your heat metal?
After a minute, it ends on its own, so it's probably done by now.
Okay,
But
but
he
if you
would've
let
been
it go the
pretty
entire minute, he will die.
Just until he passes out. If I see him starting to fade, I'll let it go.
Okay.
With all this commotion, where is this? Okay. Do my... Oh, there we go. Cast my wings, like take off my cloak, cast my wings, make a big hollowing noise, then use my position of privilege to get the captain of the guard's focus. And I say, enough of this, just ask them yourselves. Cast Zone of Truth.
She looks at you, sees what you're doing, is shocked, and then just like puts her head in her hands and it's just like, nobles and their bullshit. Oh my god. Okay. And then she says,
she's inclined to think the best of me.
I know. She's gonna. That's trust me. Where you guys are at right now with this guard, that's her best. She pushes. She's like, I've seen this spell at work before. She pushes one of her guards into it, and says, "What's your favorite color?" And he goes, "Pink, but I don't." And then he covers his mouth. And then she goes, "Proof enough for me." She walks up to the veteran that's on the ground, and then backs up about, how far is Zone of Truth? Actually, she doesn't know that, so she's gonna back up only 10 feet.
60. It's a 15 foot.
15 foot.
15?
15
or
foot
5.
Radius.
15 foot radius.
So we
Okay.
should probably...
She backs up.
Oh yeah, perfect. There.
Okay, so she's going to move right where this poor hapless farmer was.
Whoa, that's my buddy you're moving.
The guards are going to escort all the people that were hiding here out, and like do the fireman thing where they go, "It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Come on. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Enough. You've seen enough."
Gonna shout at the farmer I was gonna help out to stick around. Or do they take
The farmer goes, "I would
No, I
like
didn't.
to sit down." And the guard says, "You can sit down just outside, old timer," and grabs him out of there. So, okay, before this questioning, I've had to go to the bathroom for the last like half hour. I'm going to be right back.
Mic off. Mic on.
I'm just throwing this out there. The captain of the guard does not seem to be very good at her job. This place does not seem safe.
And she says she frequents it, yet where was she when we were here?
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't even
Hey.
drink when they're on duty? Amateurs, that's who.
Let's take it easy, guys. They're our friends here.
Allegedly.
They seem to be on our side.
The place the most?
For the most part. Considering they didn't immediately arrest us, considering there are 2 decapitated people and 2 more that were well on the way.
His
They
head
were
is
doing
not
all right.
removed. His head is installed in the basement. There's a difference.
Well, it's removed in its corporeal form from his body, so I would say that counts.
Can we mend it?
Not
I
like
don't
him
think
using
so.
it as a puppet. I thought that was your concern before.
That's like justifiable force. It's fine. It's fine. It's just the body the post-mortem body mutilation. That's what I take issue with. But do what's necessary, and he needed to die, of course. But in this instant, at least.
What?
Hi, Terry. Tell Terry to come here, Ryan.
Sorry, come here.
Want to say hi to Terry?
Hold on. Let me change this.
Did you? Oh, jeez. How was your last stint in the States there, Steve?
I got actually getting paid for it the next couple weeks here, so I'll get my commission check on that one. It was food was good, service was pretty good. I feel like the serving staff, whatever, like the restaurants, whatever, were more friendly this time than they were last time. Last time it was
Yeah,
kind of like,
baby.
what the hell?
Yeah,
But
baby.
it was good, friendly, fun. It was work. I mean, it wasn't super exciting and awesome, but it was pleasant. Can't complain about that.
Hello. Oh, hello.
Oh,
Here.
look at that.
Oh, munchkin.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh my gosh.
Lower your head a little bit.
Just came out. Just came out. Had a night out. It was a bit chaotic when I came home, but it's fine now.
Oh yeah.
Were you out partying with all the ladies, Libby?
Yeah, we were partying till 10 o'clock at night.
Oh wow.
That's usually later than I go out. It's
Yeah,
8 o'clock right
insanity.
now. I might go to bed.
Look at this thing.
I know, he
Oh
was
my God.
screaming when I walked in, and then
I was trying to get him to.
it's the mommy's titties, son. It's just how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I saw a picture of you. You were at a call, helping out with Festival.
Oh, there's pictures. Yeah. What was I
Were
doing?
you just? I think you were at the syrup station.
Oh yeah. I was Madame Turton in music for the afternoon, so I got to just hang out at Festival instead.
You're
and I
still
made some
supplied.
stuff. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, they Chris Woodward, he can be really, really convincing.
Persuasive. It's like,
Yeah.
just come for the afternoon.
Yeah.
Quick money.
Like, yeah, just here and there. We won't call you every day, and they haven't, but I can get work every week nearly if I want it. There's
That's
only
good.
two. There are 2 substitute teachers that cover a call. Two of us.
Oh shit.
Oof.
Still
Yeah.
pretty low.
Yep.
That's kind of the same situation here, though, with supply
Yeah.
teachers. Kind of all over,
Yeah.
honestly. Are you guys in your kitchen? Yeah, you're in your
Yeah.
kitchen.
Yeah.
The kids in bed?
Yeah, Stella's still not asleep, but they're asleep. Yeah. She's having a hard time sleeping.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
What's
she
like?
is a night owl,
Like my
like
daddy.
you. Not one, just like wide awake.
Say?
Wide awake.
Stella is wide awake still.
Yeah.
So far, so good. These two boys seem to be like their father and sleep like dogs. But I could be jinxing myself.
Alex likes bedtime. Like he was grumpy and he just went straight to bed. He was just like, yep.
He was
I'm
all
tired.
pissed
Time
off
to go."
because Devin couldn't find his fork that he's like weirdly obsessed with. Like they have objects that they're obsessed with. It's so
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah, they are. That's
Hey.
true.
Okay, guys.
Oh,
I am
Flame's
officially
back.
Okay, sorry.
Hey,
Okay.
bye.
Goodbye.
Love.
Take this one. Hi, Terry.
Okay. So, the captain of the guard looks at the veteran. She says, "I recognize this one. Rolf, what the fuck are you doing here?" Goes, we was out back, you know. And she's like, "Yeah, I know. Couldn't afford drinks?" He goes, "Yeah." And she goes, "Uh-huh. And what were you doing with the gentleman that currently has his brains splattered all over this nice wooden floor?" "Well, they said they'd pay for our drinks, and they paid us like 30 gold each." She goes, 30 gold? That's a lot for you. "Yeah, they said it wasn't much. They said it wasn't much at all." And he kind of like looks like he didn't mean to say that. So he's starting to realize that he's under this enchantment. And she looks at Azazel, and she says, "Do those fine wings of yours also stop them from dilly-dallying around? Do they just have to speak plainly? Not just the truth? How does this thing work?"
Slava.
Azazel.
Sorry, I'm mid Reddit fight with someone who thinks naturopaths are doctors.
As long as they don't equate naturopaths with chiropractors, then that's where I draw the line.
Anyway, we're going to circle back to that. So
Can we address them now?
she looks at you and says, "How do those wings of yours work? Usually there's a lot more whining involved and dilly-dallying. Does he just have to speak plainly?"
Yeah, he cannot tell a lie. I cast command. Oh, I guess he's already talking. Never mind. I thought if he was resisting to talk, then I'd command him to speak, and
This guy doesn't
he'd
have
to.
This guy doesn't have a high intelligence.
Okay. Yeah, no, he just cannot lie. Whatever he says is the truth.
Okay. I wonder if command would work like that. Could you make someone speak? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well,
I think it specifies speak as one of the commands that you can do.
Just a single word action.
Oh, Terry,
yeah.
Yeah.
come and look at these fights.
So he says, she goes, "Where were they from? Why did they pay you?"
Yes. We have to
And
make a decision.
he
We don't have
goes,
any.
she goes, "Well, we was around the corner like we said, and they said they got some money. They said it wasn't much, but they said they could use some backup so that they didn't get any blood on their clothes. They said it was a couple pushovers they'd been hired to beat up. But then we were in there, and they pulled out crossbows, and then they started firing magic and swords, and his sword glows, and it tore the fucker in half. And we didn't sign up for that shit. We signed up, you know, maybe stab a few folks." And she just goes like, "You can't stab a few folks. You can't.
Allegedly.
Your brawling, we talked about. Yes? Yeah, and what did I say? You said if it got bigger or more, I was gonna be kicked out of the city or rot in jail. And she goes, and what did you do? I guess we tried to kill a guy or 3. But, you could ask...
Not much on math, eh, buddy?
You could ask...
5 of us.
And then he goes, I can tell you something. And she goes, yeah? You can tell me something? You can tell me something that'll help me? And he goes, yeah, I can. One of them escaped. One of them ran out the door. And she goes, yeah, we did see that. Yeah, we've got guards after him. They're gonna search the city for him. Did they mention anything about a cult? Like the hippies that believe the dragon's gonna come back to life and burn us all? Yeah, like those hippies, the really dumb ones who only live on the grassy spots with the tents. And he goes, yeah, no, they just gave us money. And they said they just got money. They didn't say who it was from. And she goes, okay. She looks at you, Devin, and she goes, where were they heading? What was their destination? What was their purpose?
Can I use the hat? I can't remember where we're going.
Based off all the things that you said, she's now questioning him, trying to get him to say, "Is there a cult? Are you guys following someone?
Yeah,
what is going on?"
Yeah, I know. But I can't remember where the whole caravan is headed. I know we know it.
Oh, Waterdeep.
I don't know it. Okay, Waterdeep.
We're heading to Waterdeep. And he goes.
I tell her that.
Yeah.
As far as we know, they're headed to Waterdeep. They have in their possession. We couldn't get close to it, but they have a chest. They have a chest that's well guarded, full of treasure. We think we raided some caves. We found some dragon eggs. We destroyed them.
She just looks at you like
this chest is something different. It's from.
I won't lie to you.
Green Nest.
I won't lie to you. I don't really believe you.
I walk into the zone of truth. There. I can't tell a lie, right? I'm telling the truth.
She looks
I'm
at
under
you.
The same spell that everybody else in here is.
She looks at you.
I'm telling the truth.
She looks at you and she says, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. This is our trouble. That shit you're talking about? That's somebody else's trouble. That is not my trouble. This is my trouble.
You need to find that other assassin.
You need to stop talking over me is what you need to fucking do. Now, I'll ask him where they were headed. If he says something along the lines of what you're talking about, we'll see where we go from there.
They're just hired goons. Why would they know? They wouldn't know anything.
Where were you?
They're hired goons for hired goons.
You need to calm yourself.
I am calm. I'm just speaking reason. You need to think. This is your first investigation. This is the first time you've had anything like this in your life. Think for a second.
All right, that's enough. And I honestly, I'm gonna say that's a problem for somebody else. If there's a caravan full of cultists, like you're saying there is, why would they catch them somewhere else?
That want to burn the world.
There
and that's
is
somebody else's problem. Are you not part of this world? Are you not
My
part of this world?
responsibility is this city.
Your responsibility? You
Yes.
mean your paycheck? That's all you care about.
My responsibility is this city. This city has had demons and devils and everything else come out from within it. My whole goal is to make sure that doesn't happen. You want to talk about cults and the Order of the Gauntlet and the Harpers, right? I don't know about the Harpers. I've heard the rumor to whatever. Order of the Gauntlet. You want to do that? There is a Order of the Gauntlet enclave in Daggerford. You go to them. They have some clout. We have our own problems here. Do you not see this city? This city has issues. I'm trying to solve those issues. We can barely hold our own. She looks at, she's like, God damn this truth. I didn't mean to say that. We are trying. She just stops talking for a moment and she says, looks at you, looks at the guard and says, did these would-be assassins tell you where they were going? Goes, yeah. Where were they going? Baldur's Gate. She looks at you. She looks at him. She looks at Slava, or Azazel. Zone of Truth still on? Look at you. I will not condone any more violence in my city tonight. You can take you and your problems, and your caravan, and your cults of dragons, cults of trolls, I don't care. Take them and bring them somewhere else. Someone else can handle it. We have enough problems. If there's as many as you say, if it's a giant cult, I don't have the guards. I would have to get the king's manpower involved. He does not get involved for much else. He's focused on if the demons come back. We do not have the resources.
These are worse. These are worse?
In your mind, they are. In my mind, they aren't. Until you faced a demon, you don't know the difference.
Until you faced a dragon. Never mind a three-headed one.
Have you faced a three-headed dragon?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But that's what Tiamat is. That's what they want to resurrect. That's what they want to bring back. You think this city can stand against a dragon?
I'm just going to ask you now to... I see that you're speaking truth. I see that you're coming from somewhere that is concern. I appreciate that. Take your problems and leave the city. I'll give you till tomorrow morning.
Fine.
And she turns around and she goes to Trayvon and she says, are they staying here tonight? And Trayvon was like, looks around, hands a beer to Apollo and says, and says, hell, I'd be stupid to kick them out, that's for sure. Next round's on me.
I throw 2 gold pieces on the table.
He just shrugs, nods. He's just been watching this entire thing go down. The dwarf comes up to you, Ander. As the captain of the guard drags one of the veterans and looks at the other veteran who's like bloodied and his skin is burned all over. She kind of shudders and it's like, Margot, Rod, pick that one up and take it to the temple, I guess. Be kind of probably to kill him outright. And
I come over to him and put my hand on his forehead and heal him for 10 points.
Okay, so his burns heal. And she just looks at you and goes, you're a strange lot, but you've got some kindness in you, apparently. Maybe I take what you've said and I think about it. Maybe you come back another day when there's a threat that we can see. Maybe we talk about this again someday. And she
by the
carries
time
the guys
you
out.
see the threat, by the time you see the threat, it will be too late. Here,
she walks out.
Top.
She turns around. She's gone.
Okay, all right. I was gonna try and help her, but fine.
The dwarf comes up to you. He says, "Caravan, eh?"
Yes.
Hmm.
Who are you with?
Got my own little company. Call them the Black
How
Company.
many?
About 10, 11.
What's your rate?
It depends on the job. But you seem like your lot seems like in interesting company. You run into a lot of problems like this?
Well, yesterday we killed three trolls and a hag.
Think a guy like me could have a word with your caravan master? It'd be
Absolutely.
We've been hankering for a bit of an adventure. We've been doing basic grunt work here, protecting the odd trade caravan that comes through, but sounds like you got a much more interesting job right now.
I motion at Valentina. That's the money right there. We work for her. Officially, unofficially.
And he looks at Valentina and says, seems like you got your own guards. You introduced me to the caravan master. I'm sure some of the guards have gotten drunk or left us here. The caravan always picks up stragglers and drops a few off. And she nods and says, thank you for protecting us. I would be happy to make an introduction.
There's at least 2 spots that need filled from said fight yesterday.
Good point. Anybody else want to jump in here? Sorry, me and Devin have been monopolizing for a minute.
If we're done with the guards, I still want to go find my farmer buddy.
Okay.
If you waited for me out front.
He definitely did. He's still kind of shaky.
I come up to him, I put an arm around his shoulder and kind of steady him and tell him to lead me towards his home in his garden.
You was a bear. You were a bear. How do you do that often?
I've been known to turn into an animal or two before, but it's just one of my many tricks.
I suppose if you've got some more tricks, I guess bears would be better at digging for seeds, maybe. I'll show you my garden. She's about half grown right now. And you follow him, and you end up at this sort of like little bit of a ramshackle building. You can tell it used to be a bit nicer. It used to have 2 full floors, but he's only using the bottom floor. And as you walk up, you see a bird just fly into the top floor through a little hole in the rafters. Like, clearly he's not using that at all. Clearly some animals have made it their home. And he has a garden outside it that's kind of pathetic.
Oh, I see you're a friend of the animals too, pointing at the bird.
I was like already, just in case you were gonna walk to the bathroom at any moment.
Hi, Christine. Sorry, Ashrok. What do you do after he shows you this garden? It's got some tomato plants. It's got a few potato plants. You recognize, carrots, the basic amenities of life. And he's got like this like row of corn that leads into this little stack of wheat. But the wheat is so small, you're kind of like, why would you grow that much wheat? Like, it's not going to make a loaf of bread. And like, wheat is only useful in like large fields, but he's got this like little patch of it, like this big.
I tell him to get some rest, get a good sleep, come out in the morning, and you'll be amazed at what you see.
Okay.
And then I'll spend all night the next 8 hours and cast plant growth on his garden.
Okay. Considering that this is early in the evening, 8 hours, 6, 12. If you sleep in a bit tomorrow, you'll still get a full night's rest.
I only need 4 hours. So.
Oh, right. Yeah. I don't know how you guys are doing this, but
I'm hoping when he wakes up, he'll have a nice lush patch garden.
He definitely will. You've made this old man's life very much easier, considering he lost both his sons to the war and then his wife to sickness. So, good job.
And any remaining time I have there, I guess I'll just start casting some mending cantrips on his house, see if I can fix up the upstairs a little bit.
The mending cantrip, it's pretty tough to, like,
Limited.
the amount that's
Okay.
broken. It's like structural and stuff like that. You could you need supplies and then cast mending around them to like fill in the holes. So that would not be super useful. It would take so long that like you wouldn't get a long rest even with 4 hours.
Okay. What else?
Okay, Slava, you look like you're about to say something, and then or Ryan, I'm not sure which one of you.
Oh well,
No,
yeah.
wait, go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say if we're gonna move on with this, I was gonna leave the tavern for a bit because, from my previous learnings, there's this shining lady, which is an Asimar, also from like years beyond, sort of use this place as a base. So I'm just gonna walk around, see if I can find anything.
Oh shit, Liam. Retroactively, can I get that farmer's name? Just to know.
Yep. His name was Jiggin. Jiggin.
Jiggin. Okay.
Roll me investigation. As you walk out, Dessa kind of goes, "Oh, where are you going?" She seems a little bit shaken up actually after the fight. Even though
I wave her to come with.
Oh, okay, she follows you out. Roll me investigation. Okay. You do spot in kind of this like section that's kind of between what you would you go for this long walk, and it's kind of like this winding wagon wheel shaped city, but like the wagon wheel's uneven because it's got like these 3 hills, right, and the castle that's stretched in between them. So it's kind of more of like a triangle like this, like a diamond shape almost. But the structure of the city is of a wagon wheel. And so you find on the like not the inner hub of the wagon wheel, the second one outside that, you find a shrine to the Shining Lady. It pictures her with like large feathery wings. Her hair is flowing back. She has a giant sword that is like, it seems as if they tried to create like fire around it, but pieces of it have kind of broken off, and it's not in disrepair, but it's not in perfect condition either. And underneath there's just a simple plaque that just reads, the shining lady, your deeds were great. Ryan?
Still waiting to be introduced to Hilda.
Oh, okay, fair enough. You walk up to him and kind of say, "Did I earn that introduction?"
Yeah.
And Trayvon just kind of goes like, "Fuck it, yeah, you did." Motions for you to come with him, and you walk into the back, and you meet Hilda. One second, actually, I think I might have give me 1 second here. While I'm finding Hilda, Wulrash, did you want to do anything? I'll come back to you in a second.
Yep, alright.
No, I'm just going to sit beside Lady Valentina, eat my potato soup, cabbage and potato soup, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and continue drinking like nothing happened. No big deal. Nothing to see here.
Come over and sit with you guys, and hopefully my steak comes out soon.
So you meet. I don't have the picture I thought I did of Hilda. Oh, here we go. I'm just going to post it in general chat. You see, to your surprise, that there are 2 full orcs actually working in the kitchen. So that kind of speaks to this innkeep. He doesn't, while like a lot would bat an eye to your goblin, this is probably why he didn't. He has 2 orcs working in here with a human and a halfling. And she kind of gives you a once over and goes, "Yeah, how can I help?"
No Dragonborn, though?
No Dragonborn, unfortunately.
Racist.
The last cook he met was a Dragonborn.
I'll let it slide this time.
I feel like we don't meet very many elves in this campaign.
Oh, playing the pointy ear card.
A race is a race.
Yeah, that's true.
I speak to her in Orcish tongue, and I say, I like to cook.
She raises an eyebrow at you and kind of grunts in sort of a respect. He says, back in Orcish, "Do you? Well, we've got some specific brews here, and we've got some specific dishes. Which one would you like to learn? What would you like to learn off of the menu?"
Gruck is like super excited, by the way. Like he hasn't seen, like, he speaks Orcish too.
And she just looks at him and goes, "I know what these little ones like." And she just like takes a cleaver and chops like a slice of just like haunch with the bone still in it, like ham haunch, and just fucking cuts a piece off and just hands it to him, bone in.
Oh. I quite like the look of this cabbage, sausage, and potato soup.
Okay.
What am I eating?
So you're learning a new recipe. So what did we remind me what we did for that? Combat rules, cooking. Where's cooking? Port writing, cooking.
Like on walk. I just have a complete cooking sheet that I'm using.
Okay. Roll a d20 plus your proficiency bonus.
What would my proficiency be?
Should be 2 or 3. I'm not sure which. It's 3 now, I think.
Okay, so D20 plus 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow, not 20.
You know what I'll do then, Ryan? You cook this dish so perfectly that you can learn a second dish.
Nice.
Nice haircut, Slava. No, we can't.
I think I'm going to like the look of that elven bread. That looks quite handy.
What's your wisdom?
My wisdom is 3.
Okay, so this time add your wisdom and your proficiency bonus, so that's a +6, and roll the d20 for cooking.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
So that's 11. So this one is tougher for you. You manage to make it, and you learn, and Hilda just goes, Sometimes they're good. Some days are good bread days. Some days are bad bread days. So you still learn the recipe because the DC to learn it at all was 10, but you don't really get anything from it. The other recipe, you make it be perfect, and you'll have one in your inventory. Or an amount in your inventory. It lasts a day. So you could feed it to your friends tomorrow night for supper, for example, or something else like that.
The soup?
Yeah, the soup lasts a day.
Okay.
The elven bread lasts a really long time, but with an 11, you didn't actually successfully make it.
Okay.
The times he spent with an elf, me talking to him about my past, I told him it was my favorite bread. Would he get advantage for his prior knowledge?
He doesn't get advantage, but
A D4 perhaps.
I think he learns how to make it. I think that's enough. He's talked about it, but you didn't know how to make it, as far as I know.
My mom used to make it. That's all.
Yeah,
it's true.
Are you gonna give me a description of what this soup will do for me?
Yes, I will. Not at this exact moment, because I still have to work it out. But that's why I wrote it down. So,
I will start some general conversation in Orcish as to where they're from. We can just have this discussion if you want to move on to someone else and come back to it as well.
Sounds good. The orcs are not super communicative, but Hilda is. They kind of give some pretty basic answers to what you ask, but Hilda has a bit more of a history to her, and she came in here and was lucky enough to meet an innkeep who would try her out, and then she managed to convince him to bring some orcs in, and he said yes, as long as they stayed at the inn, because he's kind of worried about them generally just walking around Dragonspear. They could get harassed, and so far they have earned their keep and made a good living, and there haven't been any violent offenses, as people warned him of when he first took them on.
Nice.
Okay, does anybody else want to get anything done tonight?
I wouldn't mind having my steak.
Okay, sorry, I should have said that. As all this is happening, as he's making it, stuff like this, she is still cooking, so you do get your steak.
Yeah.
You still do get your steak.
Thank you.
Yeah, apologies.
Paid good money for that. I still have did my beers get spilled? Or do I still have my beers to drink?
I would say, considering people jumped up on those tables, your beers got spilled, but as I said...
No one jumped on that table.
As I said, you get another free round from Trebon.
Okay. Alright. Good enough.
I also take my soup out to Trebon because I promised them I would. This fucking nat 20 soup. This isn't just any soup, this is a nat 20 soup.
He eats it and says, "This is as good as Hilda's. Any social roll you have against him would have advantage for the next time you want to do it."
Nice.
As all of this is happening, the drunk.
What's behind you?
Oh yeah, no, that's Christine. I guess you guys never seen her before. She's, we usually play on days that she's working.
Hi, Christine.
You guys see this drunk guy, and he kind of stands up and just starts singing "All for Me, Grog," and then kind of half through the song, he kind of realizes, and he sees some of the guards that are still kind of hanging, and he goes, "Oh." And then he just keeps singing, and he just kind of walks, stumbles his way out of the tavern.
My dog is not outside.
Oh, my grog.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm getting a bit wiped. So we're gonna end the session here. If there's anything else you guys want to do before we leave, great. But if not, you guys are kind of do what you did. I will say you might want to write down not that I usually make you roll for this, Wulrash, but any sort of charisma-based roll you have that involves Lady Valentina has advantage. So you might just want to roll that somewhere in your backstory or something like that. That's specifically for Wulrash.
Okay.
Because, like, I mean, you literally looked her dead in the eye and said, "I'll protect you," and then broke a guy's brain. Like, what am I supposed to do here? It's pretty hot. It's pretty good.
Or
Get
she,
advantage on a roll with turbo.
either that or she should be either absolutely terrified of him or just enamored, and no in between. Like,
She's
depends
pretty.
what kind of lady she is.
She's pretty enamored. Like, for her,
Like,
she's like.
anytime he brings out the hammer, she's just dropping panties. Left and right.
At this point, I'll say pretty much, because like for her, strength is attractive because she's from a area where like vampires have taken over, and like that's what she needs is strength of arms. And here's this guy being like, "I'll protect you, douche."
The panty dropping hammer.
Panted. It
Also
does
has
have a
charm
charm.
and fear.
It does have a charm side, yeah.
Better than gin.
Better than
Slava, is there anything you wanted to follow up on?
Nope. I'm good to call it quits here.
Okay.
I was gonna suggest that either way.
Yeah.
9:30 was sort of my hard cutoff.
Well, I'm glad we made it to
12:30
it.
here. Yep.
I'm just gonna stop recording right now,